Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to closed-in Chase Field, where it's 90-plus degrees outside and very comfortable inside. Reds trying to come up with another big win. This the second of what will be a 9-game road trip. Edinson Volquez has been outstanding his last couple of times.
Each and every day, and it's allowing them a chance to relax from a hitting standpoint and score runs at their own pace. And they've been able to do that day in and day out, regardless of what the lineup is. And there has been some moving around in the lineup, but it sure doesn't affect this hit.
Joey Votto, I'm sure, folks, you've figured out by now, is not in the lineup tonight. He was scratched because of tightness in his lower back. It's kind of interesting. I was getting ready to do the pregame show with Dusty Baker. Chris, we're set to go. It'll be Brandon Phillips against the right-hander Rodrigo Lopez. Our first pitch brought to you by Belterra Casino Resort and your tea time. Visit BelterraCasino.com. Phillips checking in at 282, 14 home runs, 44 RBIs. Here is a wide and the pitch by Lopez, and it's taken high for a ball, and this game is underway. .79 degrees inside Chase Field, 99 degrees outside. Here's a 1-0 offering, and Phillips hits it foul to even the count at 1-1 strike. Remember, if you're driving around listening to our broadcast on your car or truck radio, please buckle up your seatbelt and make sure everyone else in your vehicle does the same. This message brought to you by the Ohio Department of Public Safety. What's holding you back? Count of 1-1 to the right-handed batting Brandon Phillips. A pitch on the way and a bomb hammered down the left field line. That ball short hops a wall in front of the Arizona bullpen and on to second base with a stand-up double. His 30th of the year is Brandon Phillips.
Well, this is the 25th start of the year for Rodrigo Lopez. He has given up more than a home run per game so far this year. He's given up 28 home runs, a lot more hits than innings pitched, and you would think that that would bode well for the offense tonight for the Reds.
No doubt. Here now is Drew Stubbs, and originally not in the lineup, but when they had to scratch Votto, they moved Jim Edmonds in from center to first base and install Stubbs in center and batting in the number 2 spot. So Phillips takes the lead. Lopez checks him with a look, delivers, and the pitch is in for a strike. Defensively, Adam LaRoche first, Kelly Johnson second, Mark Reynolds at third, Stephen Drew at shortstop, Gerardo Parra in left, Chris Young in center, Justin Upton in right field, Miguel Montero behind the plate. 1 strike on the right-handed batting Stubbs, the pause and the pitch, and it's a swing and a foul. Our plate umpire tonight is Mike Winters. He is the plate umpire with Hunter Wendelstedt at first, Mike Estabrook at second, and the crew chief at third, Jerry Lane.
You'd really like to see the Reds jump out early because this Diamondbacks club doesn't play with the same fervor once they're behind.
Pitch way upstairs the ball. No, we saw evidence of that last night.
Yes, we did, friend. Yes, we did.
Waiting on deck, Jim Edmonds. Stubbs waving that bat out over the plate. Rodrigo Lopez straightens up on the Chase Field mound, looks back at Phillips. Here he comes to third, and the pitch is fouled off. And, boy, he had third base stolen standing up. He got a great jump after Lopez looked back that way, very slowly came to the plate out of his stretch motion, and Brandon Phillips, that's about as easy a steal of third had the ball not been fouled off as you're ever going to see. So back at second base with a count of ball 1 and strike 2 on Drew Stubbs. Brandon Phillips has opened the game with a booming double to left field. And now Lopez wants Montero to run through the signs again. And now the right-hander sets. And now the right-hander looks twice at Phillips and comes to the plate. And that one's in the dirt, gets through the catcher, and Brandon will come on to third base. They had all kinds of problems defensively last night. Physical problems, mental mistakes. And now Lopez compounds his problem by throwing a wild pitch, enabling Phillips to move to within 90 feet of becoming the night's first run.
And realistically, Marty, that pitch normally in the big leagues is blocked and kept in front of home plate.
So the Reds last night fell behind when Diamondbacks scored twice in the first inning. Now they have a chance to get on the board first tonight And that pitch taken low and outside. And it's a full count now on Drew Stubbs. Want to extend get well wishes early tonight to Jenny Croxton. Jenny, the daughter of a couple of old friends, John and Jean Croxton, owned the T.P. White Funeral Home out in Mount Washington. Jenny, their daughter, operated on some time ago. Here's a line drive into left field. The catch is made. Phillips tags. He's going to try to score. Here comes the throw to the plate. Not in time. And the Reds take a 1-0 lead on a line drive sacrifice fly by Drew Stubbs to left field.
Well, that was big hustle by Phillips there for a moment. I didn't know if he was going to make it or not, but he just did get in there ahead of the throw.
RBI number 55 for Stubbs. And here's Jim Edmonds with a run in and one out. So, Jenny, hope you're on the mend. And we'll be up and around, and everything will be great very, very soon. Get well wishes to Jenny Croxton. Jim Edmonds settling in now. He expected to be in center field tonight, but when Votto was scratched, they moved him into first. Left-hand batter. And Lopez delivers, and it's fouled behind third base, 0-1.
And you'd really like to see Jim Edmonds settle in offensively and just get things going back in a positive way for him. He has hit the ball hard, but just feeling a part of the ball club.
Pitch taken on the inside, and very quickly it's no balls and 2 strikes.
When everybody else is having success and you're the new guy in town, you want to contribute at least somewhere along the line.
Well, it's not because he hasn't hit the ball solidly. He's been retired on a number of line drives, but now he chases a pitch up in his eyes, and Lopez strikes him out on 3 pitches. That means Scott Rowland will bat with 2 out. Rowland 7 for his last 11 over the last 3 ball games. To go with 6 RBIs during that time. His batting average, he's jumped back over the 300 mark now at 303. And Lopez pitches, and Scott takes high a ball.
It's just amazing to me when you watch Lopez pitch. He takes the ball out of his glove and holds it outside his mitt before he releases plate work.
Check swing and a call strike, 1-1.
And if you're a astute hitter that watches the hand a lot, I would think you could probably pick up a pitch or 2.
He delivers, and Rowland pulls it foul down past the third base dugout. These 2 teams will wind the series up in another night affair tomorrow night. Travis Wood will be activated. He'll make the start against a left-hander, Joe Saunders. So it'll be a battle of lefties in the final game the Reds will play in this ballpark and in this city this season. Pitch is way outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It'd be nice to see the kid back up here. He definitely didn't warrant being sent down. It's just more of a numbers game.
That's exactly what it was. Had nothing to do with his inability to pitch effectively.
I'm sure they explained that to him as well as you can explain it.
Ground ball hit sharply to the left of Stephen Drew. He gets to it, and he throws Rowland out. 1 run, 1 hit. The Diamondbacks coming to bat here in the first inning on the Cincinnati Bell Reds Radio Network.
Well, after the game, it's America's Truckin' Network on 700 WLW.
Well, the Reds have staked Edinson Volquez to a 1-0 lead as he gets set to make his 7th start since coming off the disabled list. 3 wins and a loss. And he's shown marked improvement his last 2 times out. He delivers a taken strike to the leadoff batter, Stephen Drew. Manager Kirk Gibson really changing things up as far as his batting order is concerned, trying to hope to find something that will ignite this offense. The 0-1 delivery, and that pitch is up high. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, their offensive numbers look pretty good. It's just a matter of getting them where they're hitting in the same inning.
Yeah. Volquez sets for the 1-1 pitch. And it's on the way, and that one is taken high for a ball. Drew, a left-hand batter, hitting .261, 8 home runs and 41 RBIs. His older brother, J.D. Drew, of course, an outfielder with the Boston Red Sox. Now the pitch, and that one is hit into left field, and that's a base hit. So Stephen Drew does in the bottom of the inning what Brandon Phillips did in the top of the inning, and that's reach as a leadoff batter. Phillips doubled and Drew singles. The batter will be the right fielder, Justin Upton. As part of its extra effort program, Ohio Casualty Insurance Members of the Liberty Mutual Group will make a donation to the Cincinnati chapter of the American Red Cross each time the Reds hit a double or a triple. It's the Extra Effort program from Ohio Casualty Insurance as well as their independent agents. So here is Upton, batting at .265, 16 home runs. Drew taking the lead at first base, and the pitch is taken away, ball one.
In each ball game, whether the outcome was good, bad, or ugly, this is the inning that Volquez has had a little bit of issue in. It's just a matter of getting that right spot to release the baseball from, and once he gets there, he seems to be okay here in the last three starts.
The defense swung around to the left for this right-handed batter, and he waves at a high changeup. The defense for Cincinnati tonight, minus Joey Votto, Jim Edmonds at first, Brandon Phillips at second. The shortstop, Paul Yanish, over at third, Scott Rowland. And the outfield of Johnny Gomes in left, Drew Stubbs in center, Jay Bruce in right, and Ramon Hernandez doing the catching. A ball and one strike to the waiting Upton. The high hole by Volquez. He deals, and the pitch is fouled off. Part of the Reds organization, we want to extend our sympathies to the family of Mark Whalen. Mark recently passing away. His nickname was Rags. He was instrumental in the success of Reds Fest from 2006 to 2009 as the crew foreman of Reds Fest event decorators, the George E. Fern Company. 1 ball and 2 strikes and pitching. And that one is hit in the air center field. Coming on is Stubbs, and he'll make the play for out number 1. Rags, one of the behind-the-scenes people who worked tirelessly in the 2 weeks leading up to the event to ensure its success each year. A memorial service was held today in Cincinnati, and certainly our heartfelt condolences go out to his family and his co-workers at the George E. Fern Company. In fact, the Reds plan to dedicate Reds Fest 2010 in the honor of Mark Rags Whalen. 1 out in the inning. Here's Kelly Johnson. He had a 2-run home run last night to right field, and he takes high for a ball. Johnson's had, the only way to describe it, an outstanding year for this Arizona ball club, batting .284, a career-high 19 home runs to go with 55 runs batted in. The pitch to him, and out a swing and a miss. He came out of the gate very quickly for this ball club to the extent that he was named the National League Player of the Month for the first month of the season back in April.
He has definitely hit the ball in this ballpark at a .324 clip.
One man out, 1 man on, and 1-0 Cincinnati here in the bottom of the first inning. The pitch from Volquez is taken inside, and the left-handed batting Johnson gets in front, 2 balls and 1 strike.
He's also got a career-high 11 stolen bases to go with those 19 homers.
Yeah, he's had the kind of year that he can look back upon it when it's over with as being very, very gratifying, I'm sure. Not in the sense that this team had a good year. Obviously, it's going to be the last-place team in this division. There's a swing and a miss. But Kelly Johnson's a young man who at one time looked like he was going to be a fixture at second base with the Atlanta Braves, and it didn't happen.
He just had too many middle infielders.
I'm telling you. You know, you look at that position now being manned by Martin Prado, and for the longest kind of time this season, he led the National League in hitting. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Drew leaning at first base, and the pitch on the way, and a foul ball back. Speaking of Atlanta, big story today, the Cubs traded first baseman Derek Lee to the Braves for 3 pitching prospects. He has had a back problem all year long, had an epidural yesterday, and they said that, or rather Monday, and while becoming an Atlanta Brave immediately, probably will not play until at the earliest Thursday, and more likely on Friday. 2-2 pitch, and this one's tapped foul at first, and the irony of it all is his first game as an Atlanta Brave may be in Wrigley Field.
Isn't that amazing?
It's unbelievable.
He may come to the ballpark just like he normally does.
Yep.
I wonder if they'll let him have his parking spot.
He does ride the bus.
There you go. Well, Atlanta did win tonight. They pulled it off against Washington there in the bottom of the ninth inning.
And they needed to do that because the Phillies won, so the separation between the Braves and second-place Philadelphia stays at 2.5. 2-2 pitch, way outside, ball 3. Waiting on deck, Chris Young. Leadoff single by Stephen Drew, but Justin Upton flied to Stubbs in center, and after being in front on the count, Edinson Volquez has now run the string out. Let's see what Kirk Gibson will have Drew doing here on this 3-2 pitch. And the runner going, and the pitch is taken high, ball 4. And Arizona has him at first and second and threatening here in the first inning with one man out.
Go ahead. Talking with Volquez, and he was really concerned about tempo more than anything else in each of his starts. He said, once I can get that normal tempo, he said, I feel a lot more comfortable. He said, but it doesn't come right away as it has in the past.
Well, he's got a pitch out of trouble here in the first inning, and he'll face Chris Young, who has hammered 19 home runs this season, or 20 home runs with a .271 batting average, and sitting on 69 runs batted in. He is one of the fine, young, outstanding talents in this National League. Here's a pitch, and it's up and away, ball 1. Checking scores of other games brought to you by Montgomery Inn. Join the Montgomery Inn crowd in Montgomery, the Boathouse, Fort Mitchell, and in Dublin in the National League Finals. Milwaukee beat St. Louis 3-2. San Diego, who seemingly will never lose another game, beat the Chicago Cubs 5-1. Philadelphia routed the Giants 8-2. Florida edged the Pirates by a final score of 3-2. And Young takes high, ball 2. Atlanta, as Jeff said, pulled out a 3-2 win over the Washington Nationals in the 8th inning. The Mets are leading in Houston 2-0, and the Rockies and the Dodgers will be playing out in Los Angeles. In the American League, Tampa Bay completed a sweep of the Texas Rangers, winning earlier tonight 8-6. Oakland with a 5-4 win over Toronto. Seattle beat Baltimore 6-5. Here's a pitch, and that one is hit hard to shortstop. Give it up to second, turn it over to first, and that's a double play. That baby was absolutely smoked, and it was hit on a bounce to Paul Giannis, and the defense does the rest. 1-0 Reds heading to the second inning.
700. Toyota, proud sponsor of
Steve Hawkins in for Jim Scott tomorrow morning. I've got Christopher Gorham of TV's Covert Affairs, 700 WLW.
PSGA BP on Saturday, August 28th. The Reds hook up with the Cubs, and the first 20,000 in attendance will receive a reusable grocery bag thanks to Biz and Oxidol. Join the Reds for exciting baseball and the opportunity to go green with this great bag. Purchase your tickets at 513-381-REDS or visit reds.com. Johnny Gomes, and the top of the second takes the strike. Other scores in the American League in the 8th inning. The Yankees are beating the Tigers 9-5 in the 8th inning. Boston a run up at home against the Angels 6-5. Kansas City 7-4 over the Indians in the 6th inning, and also in the 6th, the White Sox lead the Twins in Minneapolis 5-4. So you are up to date on everything that's going on in Major League Baseball. The 1-1 to Gomes, and a very high infield pop-up. He will converge around the mound, and the first baseman, Adam LaRoche, takes charge, and he makes the catch for out number 1. I got to be honest. I don't know in all the years I've been involved in this game, I have ever seen a hitter in as prolonged a batting slump as Johnny Gomes.
You know, I think it started when he got to the 99th home run, and it has just continued. It seems like if he could just get that one other home run, he could forget about it.
It's unbelievable. It's gone over a month. The last home run was July the 19th, so tomorrow will be a month. Here's a bunt, third base side. That's a good one. Pitcher picks it up and cannot make a play. Excellent idea by Jay Bruce. He dropped a perfect bunt off the third base side. Lopez was able to come off the mound and pick it up cleanly, and he very wisely opted to stick it in his back pocket. He had no play.
Well, it looked as though Mark Reynolds was playing back there near Flagstaff, and Jay just decided to just drop it. That was a perfect bunt.
It certainly was. So the Reds have their second hit, and the batter will be catcher Ramon Hernandez with 1 out and 1 on. Having an outstanding year for this club, .295 batter. He's hit 5 home runs and has driven in a total of 35, to be followed by Paul Janisch. Here's a stretch and the pitch by Noah. He'll throw on to first to try Bruce back. Had a chance to visit with a couple of folks, natives of Cincinnati, but they've been out here since 1974, Tom and Missy Osborne. And they rarely ever miss a game here. In fact, Missy has missed 3 games this season. Tom has not missed a game. They are Diamondbacks fans because they live here, but deep down inside, they are Reds fans. Lived in the Pleasant Ridge area of Cincinnati and had a nice, long conversation with them while the Diamondbacks were taking batting practice. And they don't miss a game, and they certainly don't miss it when the Reds come to town. Here's a little nubber into shallow center field, a ball that's going to drop for a base hit. Good base running by Jay Bruce. He went far enough that he knew he could get to second base in the event that ball dropped in, which is what he did. So the Reds get back-to-back hits from Jay Bruce and Ramon Hernandez, and the batter now will be last night's offensive star, or one of the two, Scott Rowland being the other one, Paul Janisch. Janisch batting .295. Make that .283 in the home run he hit last night to break the tie in the 7th. His 4th of the year, and he swings and he misses on a first pitch up in his eyes, 0-1.
He has really helped this club after losing Cabrera. Filled in remarkably well.
Without a doubt. He has really done everything. That one is taken for a strike as we take a look at our Cincinnati Bell trivia question. Text your answer of A, B, or C to 66128 for your chance to win a pair of Reds tickets, a $25 Skyline Chili gift card, and a free haircut from Great Clips. Brought to you by Cincinnati Bell's 3G network. Talk, text, and surf on the fastest network around. High pop-up that'll come back and drop in the seats. Diamondbacks manager Kirk Gibson ranks 6th on the Tigers' all-time stolen base list with 194 steals in a Tiger uniform. In which one of the following categories does Gibson also rank in the top 10 in Tigers history? On-base percentage, doubles, or home runs? Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's taken for a ball. A little bit high.
Doubles.
Doubles would be your answer. That would be B.
That is correct.
Like in Boy, like in Brantley.
That is correct.
Like in beat up because of too much sun.
Yeah, you got that right. Burn up, as in burn up.
Here's a high fly ball coming into shallow left field. Coming on is Parra to make the catch, and Janisch is the second out.
Burn up and burn out. By the way, Jim Kelch did call me so that I could revisit the system and gave me the answers that he forgot to give me.
Really?
Yes. Because I would have got that answer last night. I would have said C, which would have been 0, which would have fit right in with the system.
It would have.
That's his fault.
Jim, shame on you, son. 2 outs in the inning. Here's Edinson Volquez. Reds have a 1-0 lead. They're batting here in the top of the 2nd. A look back at second by Lopez, who is opposite number. Volquez waves at it on 1. Well, Jim's had a lot on his plate. He texted me today telling me about Jason Isringhausen going on the DL with an elbow strain. And a big night for Devin Mesoraco, the young catcher who 3 years ago was a Reds' #1 pick and having a breakout year this season offensively. He is making his AAA debut in Louisville. Ground ball, shortstop. They get the force out at second on Hernandez. And in the middle of inning number 2 in Phoenix. Reds 1, D-backs nothing on the Cincinnati Bell Reds Radio Network.
As a computer, I am not ashamed to admit that I stink at
you how.
Eddie and Tracy tomorrow at 3:06 on 700 WLW, the big one.
Edson Volquez pitched out of trouble in the first inning, inducing a 6-4-3 double play off the bat of Chris Young. And now we go to the bottom of the second, where it'll be Adam LaRoche, Mark Reynolds, and Miguel Montero to hit off Volquez as we welcome in, of course, from the Cincinnati Enquirer, your friend and I hope ours, John Fay.
I hope ours.
John, how are you?
Good.
Busy day today on the baseball front?
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on.
You dropped an interesting one on us about Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah, I asked Walt. I thought he would be up by now, and Walt Jocketty said he's going to come up on the 1st. And I thought that meant he would not be playoff eligible, but Walt explained to me that he will be.
First pitch, a fastball away, and how is that?
They have 2 guys on the 60-day disabled list who will not be involved in the playoffs. And those 2 spots will give them 2 more people they can put on anyone through the organization. The way I understood it was someone had to get injured. Well, it's not had it to get injured. If someone is injured on the DL before the playoffs start, you can still replace them.
2-0 the count on the power-hitting LaRoche, and the pitch is taken, and now it's ball 3. And I'll be honest with you, this kid is struggling here in the first couple of innings throwing strikes. Great velocity, but right now no clue as to where the ball is going. And he needs a strike here against LaRoche, and he delivers and cannot get it, and that's 4 straight fastballs. And Adam LaRoche is on to begin the second with the second base on balls that Volquez has given up tonight. So now, does that mean that you have flexibility as you go through the month of September? Your rosters have expanded, but that doesn't necessarily mean, does it, that he will be on your playoff roster?
No, you get a chance to set it, and I'm sure that they'll look at a number of different factors. You don't need that many starting pitchers in the playoffs. And it's anyone in the organization, so that would open it up to Jason Isringhausen, a bunch of different guys.
Pitches up high, a ball. For your information, Isringhausen has gone on the disabled list in Louisville with elbow strain.
Yeah. I talked to Walt about that. I think it's they got the 7-day disabled list. He still thought he's going to be okay, but I think a setback like that for a guy coming off of Tommy John, pretty serious.
Absolutely. Quick trip out to the mound by Hernandez. He has witnessed Volquez throw 5 straight pitches out of the strike zone here in the second inning. He has walked LaRoche, and now is a ball and no strikes on third baseman Mark Reynolds. Devin Mesoraco makes his AAA debut tonight. How about that?
Yeah, I asked Bob Miller about that, and he thinks that Wilkin Castilla's a little banged up, and that might have had something to do with it. But the kid's had a great year.
Oh, this is a third different classification. Somebody in this organization told me that right now he is as close to an untouchable as anybody they have in the organization. That's strong words right there.
If you look around, there's not many power-hitting catchers, and he's got, I think, 23 home runs.
Yeah. There's ball 3. That is 7 straight pitches now that Volquez has failed to locate the strike zone.
And for a high school kid to move that quickly, I mean, that's hopping it behind the plate.
Yep. Got to believe Brian Price is going to be making a trip to the mound if Reynolds follows up LaRoche with another base on balls. And there's a strike. 3-1. What else you got for me, John?
Well, I talked to Dusty Baker, and he said the Reds have offered him a extension. He wouldn't, go into specifics, but I think it's something that he's weighing, and I would be really surprised if he doesn't accept it.
And I would agree with that. Here's a 3-1 pitch. And he walked it. That's back-to-back walks. That's how the second inning begins, and here comes Brian Price, as expected, heading out to the mound to try and get Edinson Volquez straightened out here as Miguel Montero waits to be the next Arizona batter. Joey Votto out of the lineup tonight.
Yeah, I guess it came up during batting practice. He was fine, and I went down to the clubhouse to talk to Walt late after batting practice, and he was laying flat on his back on a recliner. With these back things, you never know, but you certainly can't have him out of there very long.
No. Meeting is broken up on the mound, and now Montero, the left-handed batting catcher, will settle in, batting at .301. 8 home runs and 29 runs batted in. Volquez trying to figure it out here with a 1-0 lead in the second inning. Well, we've seen Derek Lee traded today to the Atlanta Braves for 3 pitching prospects. This is, of course, coming after the so-called trade deadline. Here's a pitch to Montero, a strike, and I guess it points up how easy it can get done depending upon who the player is and what kind of financial considerations are due him.
Yeah, if a guy's owed a lot of money, they can move real easily. The guy you hear about is Brandon Inge, that the Cardinals might be interested in.
That'd be a pretty good pickup for St. Louis.
He's a good little player.
1 ball, 1 strike. Well, here you go. Mesoraco makes his AAA debut, hits a grand slam home run at the bottom of the 9th.
Did he really?
To give the Louisville Bats a 5-3 win over Syracuse. He was 2 for 4 overall. How about that? Swing and a miss.
He's had a great year, but the kid hit like .219 last year, and I think he just had these hand injuries. You know, he's from Pennsylvania, didn't play many games, and I think he just got beat up, and it really hurt him the first couple years. And obviously, I mean, he'll be 1 or 2 on the prospect list next year, I guess.
I don't think there's a whole lot of doubt about that. And you're talking about a position that in recent years, actually more than just that, historically has been a weak spot in this organization in terms of a catcher who can swing the bat. Montero chops it back toward the mound. It's picked up by Volquez, and from his knees he throws. He was looking for a bigger bounce when that ball came off the grass and did not get it.
Ball just died.
It really did, and he made a heck of a play on that ball. But Montero's slow chopper between the plate and the mound advances both runners. And that'll bring out the left fielder, Gerardo Parra, with 1 out.
You know, someone asked me about Mesoraco if he could play another position. And the one thing I remember about the kid in spring training is he can really run for a catcher. Mm-hmm. Very athletic. And they talk about his makeup is very good. So, sometimes it takes a while, but this looks like they made the right pick a couple years ago.
Looks like it right now with the year he's had. Second inning in a row in which the D-backs have threatened. The pitch on the way to the left-handed batting Parra is a strike.
Weren't there some talks about the Biggio situation and the catching and also playing a secondary position? I don't know if it was second base or outfield or something like that, but I seem to remember that as well.
Tying run at third, go ahead run at second, 1 out, and a check swing foul on a pitch out away from him. And Parra finds himself in a hole at 0 balls and 2 strikes.
Big strikeout here if he can get it.
Travis Wood coming back to make the start tomorrow night. Reds have to make a player move.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty obvious what they're going to do tomorrow, but they got to get Cabrera back on, and it's going to be a tough move. Really.
Swing and a foul. John, who knows when that's going to be? Obviously, he could come off today, and he's not ready yet. They're certainly not going to rush him, especially with the way that Giannis has performed in his absence. But it would seem to me that when he comes off the DL, the pitcher's going to have to be the one to go out.
I would think so. I mean, and that's what Dusty talked about a little bit with Chapman is no one really deserves. I mean, everyone's playing pretty well, particularly the pitchers. It's going to be a tough call.
Here's a slow roller hit to third. That's going to tie the game up. Scott Rowland throws Parra out as LaRoche comes in with a tying run. That was, contact made by Gerardo Parra, and it ends up tying the game up at 1-1. Now with a runner at third base and 2 out, the batter will be Rodrigo Lopez. I would think that at this time of the year, as cohesive as this team has been, and you got to tell a guy who by all rights doesn't deserve to be sent down because everybody in that bullpen is pitching pretty well.
Yeah, Dusty said that sends a bad message to our guys. He said, I don't want a guy who's pitching well to think I'm going to get sent down.
Right.
So, and I think that's why they moved back the Chapman thing.
1 ball and no strikes on Lopez. Well, I mean, you would think tomorrow when Wood's activated, the only move they can make is Carlos Fisher going back to Louisville, right?
Yeah, and he's only pitched once since he's been up here. He pitched well, but it sounded like the way Dusty talked that Mike Leake might move into that long man role because he can hit, and that would limit his innings pretty much.
Yeah. And I would think probably that move being made, and that is putting Leake in the bullpen as the long man, pitch is taken for a ball 2-1. That would probably be something that would carry over if the Reds are fortunate enough to get into the postseason.
Yeah, usually teams go with 3 or 4 starters, so they're going to have some decisions to make.
Trying to get out of the inning with only 1 run crossing the plate. The 2-1 delivery, and there's call strike 2 on Lopez, who is 3 for 51 this season. I can't imagine you want to get cute with this guy. Just go ahead and blow him away and end the inning with a go-ahead run standing at third base. Reds scored in the first. The Diamondbacks have tied it here in the second. And Volquez tries to put Lopez away, and he checks his swing, and that's ball 3.
I don't think he's going to swing.
I can't imagine. Big pitch coming up right here with Stephen Drew waiting on deck. The stretch and the 3-2 pitch to Rodrigo Lopez, and he fouls it off. It's a line drive above the first base dugout. So you're here for the whole road trip, right?
I am.
Are you here permanently for the rest of the season?
I am missing a road trip, a road series in Houston. I got a wedding. So
okay,
other than that, I'm here.
That's very good.
You're already married.
Very, very good. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss to end the inning. John, thank you so much.
I'll be back tomorrow morning.
I know you will, my friend. That's John Fay from the Cincinnati Enquirer. Jeff Brantley will be calling the play-by-play when we go into the third inning. It's a 1-1 game on the Cincinnati Bell Reds Radio Network.
WLW.
Rodrigo Lopez getting set to start the top half of the third inning. Brandon Phillips, the man who led off the ball game with a double down the left field line, has scored the Reds' only run. That's where we're at right now. 1 apiece, 1 for the Diamondbacks, 1 for the Redlegs. And Phillips will lead things off here to start the third. Diamondbacks end up scoring a run in the bottom of the second without the benefit of a hit after a couple of walks to start the inning. Here's Phillips. Taps that outside corner and rolls that bat. Fastball up and away. That's a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Lopez tries to cut the ball and sink it. He'll change speeds with the changeup and the slow curveball. Short step back. Here's the pitch. Fastball up and in. 2 balls and no strikes to Phillips. Phillips now with 84 runs scored, which is tops in the National League. It was tied with Votto coming into the game. He fouls this baby straight behind home plate. 2 balls and a strike. Phillips has hit in 5 out of his last 6 and now 6 of his last 7. So maybe the second baseman is starting to heat it up a little bit. This one on the ground to the shortstop, Drew. He'll pick it up. Fires across the infield to LaRoche, and there's 1 down. That'll bring to the plate Drew Stubbs. Stubbs was responsible for driving in Phillips back in the first inning with a bullet out to left field. A line drive to Gerardo Parra, right where he stands now. And Parra made a pretty good throw to home plate, but not in time to get the speedy Phillips. Lopez kicks and deals. Fastball right down Broadway. Strike 1. Stubbs has hit the ball better of late. He's got a 5-game hitting streak coming into the game tonight. Change up down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. .412 in his last few starts, and he hits this one high and deep into left center field. Going back is Parra to the track. He got it. 2 down. Stubbs hit it good, but just a tad short on the distance. 2 down for Jim Edmonds. Parra going all the way back to the track there in left center, and for a moment it looked like it may have had the distance to get out of Chase Field. But Parra makes the catch, 2 down, and here's Jim Edmonds. Struck out on 3 pitches his first time up. Breaking ball, and this baby's out of here. 2-1. Reds have retaken the lead on a home run by Jim Edmonds, his first home run in a Reds uniform. First pitch, opposite field, and you knew it when he hit it. That'll bring to the plate Scott Rowland. A 2-out thunder by Jim Edmonds, scheduled to play center field when the lineups were initially exchanged. But Votto being scratched, that put Edmonds at first and put Stubbs out in center field. That pitch just misses off the outside corner. 1 ball, no strikes. And both Stubbs and Edmonds, involved in the switch-up, have been responsible for a couple of runs here early. Right-hander Lopez, very deliberate. Fastball hit off the hands, dead center field. Here comes Young, won't get there. It did not look as though Rowland had hit it well, and you could hear the bat snap all the way up here, and there's no chance, even with the speed of Chris Young, that he was going to get to that ball. So with 2 outs, the home run by Edmonds puts the Reds back on top 2-1, and Rowland with a single into center field, and now here's Johnny Gomes. Gomes from the right side as Rowland takes his lead at first base. And the pitch is a breaking ball right in there for strike 1. Gomes comes into this ball game 8 for 17 against Rodrigo Lopez, with 2 home runs in his career, hitting at .471 against Lopez. Breaking ball, and he hits it to the sky. Same as his last at bat. This time it's the shortstop Drew making the catch, and that's it for the Reds. But not before Jim Edmonds breaks out the big stick opposite field to put the Reds back on top 2-1 here on the Cincinnati Bell Reds Radio Network. First pitch from Edinson Volquez as he faces Stephen Drew for the second time tonight is right down the heart of the plate for strike 1. A fastball straight over the top by Volquez, and he'll jump ahead of the leadoff hitter, Stephen Drew. No balls and a strike. Fastball, line drive, center field. Stubbs is there. 1 down. 2 pitches, 1 down. And it seems as though when Volquez got to the dugout after the second inning that Brian Price made the motion, seemingly with his hands, and talking to Volquez to let the ball go. Just go ahead, and you could almost see the motion as he was pushing his right hand forward just to let it go, let it fly. And he does on both of those pitches there. And he's got 1 out in the inning for Justin Upton. Fastball misses downstairs as Upton thinks about bunting. He started and pulled it back. Volquez with a step back. He rocks and deals. Change up, misses inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Volquez will look into Hernandez for the sign. Hernandez sets up away. Here's the pitch. Fastball right down Broadway. Strike 1. 2 balls and a strike to Upton. Upton with some awfully good numbers last year in playing right field for this club, but he is definitely down in just about every offensive category this year. Fastball again splits the plate, but it's a bit low. 3 balls and a strike now to the right fielder for the Diamondbacks, Justin Upton. And waiting on deck, Kelly Johnson. A long look in this time for Volquez. The pitch, fastball, outside corner, strike 2. 3 balls and 2 strikes now to Upton. Upton has yet to take the bat off his shoulder. He did start to bunt on pitch number 1, but that's about the only bit of movement he's had. Here's the 3-2. And he got him with the changeup. Good pitch by Volquez. And 2 down in the inning. Second strikeout for Volquez. 2 out of the last 3. Boy, you know when Volquez starts being able to pull the string on these batters with that changeup, he is really starting to fool them and get back into that good tempo that he was talking about feeling when he's out there. 2 down in the inning for Johnson. Changeup right down the heart of the plate. Strike 1. Johnson batting second last night, batting third tonight. As you heard Marty earlier, Kurt Gibson trying to find some offense with some regularity as Johnson fouls this off. And he is down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs in the inning. Diamondbacks only have 1 hit here early, but they have had 3 free passes. The bases on balls by Volquez. Here's the 0-2. Way outside. That one looked like it came out of the side of his hand. A breaking ball that seemed to slip right out of the top of the fingers of Volquez. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kelly Johnson. He was issued a free pass, the first one of the night, his first time up. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts, and 3 of the last 4. Volquez seems to be finding the movement. 2-1 Reds as we head to 4 on the Cincinnati Bell Reds Radio Network.
Cincinnati's based HR outsourcing provider has earned the trust of the Akeley. It's done.
700 WLW.
Jay Bruce set to lead off the 4th as the Reds have a 2-1 lead. Bruce with a bunt single his first time up. Right down the third baseline. This time Mark Reynolds pulled in almost to the edge of the grass as Lopez releases a fastball up and away from Jay. 1 ball and no strikes. It'll be Bruce, Hernandez, and Yanish. And then to Volquez if anybody reaches. This one hit high and deep. Right field going back to the wall. Upton, goodbye. Home run, Jay Bruce. Boy, that was a golf shot right out of right field. A drag bunt, then a home run. Jay Bruce, how do you do it? 3-1 Reds. Rodrigo Lopez came into this ball game having given up 28 home runs, and now he has hit the 30 mark after the home run to Edmonds to left field, and now that home run to Bruce to right field. 3-1 Reds. Here is Ramon Hernandez. Fastball outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Bruce took a low inside pitch and drove it right out over the head of a sprinting Justin Upton to the wall, and that baby got out of here in a hurry. Fastball upstairs. 2 balls and no strike to Hernandez. Reds have scored single runs in the first, third, and now here in the top of the 4th. Nobody out for Hernandez. He hammers this ball to left center field. Moving over to get it is Parra. And there's one down. Hernandez hit it good. Right to Parra in left field. One down in the inning for Paul Yanish. He flied out to left his first time up. Yanish with a big night with the bat last night. Fastball right down Broadway. Strike one as Lopez jumps ahead of a hitter. One out in the inning. Waiting on deck is Volquez. Right-hander rocks and deals. A fastball coming right back to the outside corner. And Lopez will jump ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. Yanish standing in, waiting on the pitch. A breaking ball. He taps it foul down the third baseline. Looked like a breaking ball, and you just stuck the bat out there at the last possible second.
You know, the 30 home runs that Lopez has given up, obviously he leads the National League. But his teammate, Kennedy, is second in the league. He's given up 24 of them.
This must be an airport here around Chase Field. No balls and 2 strikes to the right-handed hitting shortstop for the Reds, Yanish. Line drive right over the shortstop, base hit, Paul Yanish. Aggressively rounding first base. Young to the baseball, gets it back in. And the Reds have a 1-out base hit off the bat of Yanish. Looked like a high breaking ball from Lopez, and Mel Stottlemyre Jr. is out to the mound to talk with the veteran right-hander. 3-1 Reds at this moment. Yanish standing at first base. Most likely, without a doubt, we'll see a bunt here from Volquez. Reds fans, Western and Southern Financial Group wants to strike out cancer. Each time a Cincinnati Reds pitcher strikes out an opposing batter, Western and Southern will make a donation to the Barrett Cancer Center. Because when it comes to fighting cancer, we're all in this one together. One down in the inning. Yanish at first base. Volquez at the plate. In his 7 at-bats since coming back, Volquez has 2 sacrifice bunts. And he'll look for 3 here, and he reaches for that one, and it's strike 1. That one was about a foot outside, and Volquez stabbed at it anyway. Yanish with a modest lead at first base. Lopez at the set. Here's the pitch. And it's bunted right there in front of home plate. Perfectly placed by Volquez. Sacrifice. LaRoche to Johnson, 3-4. And down to second base goes Paul Yanish. And that'll give Brandon Phillips a chance to drive in a run here and put the Reds up by 3. They lead 3-1 as we stand right now. So the sacrifice, first base to second baseman, 3-4, puts Yanish in scoring position. It's the second out. Bruce started the inning with a golf swing type home run over the right field wall. First pitch to Phillips off the plate away. Looked like a breaking ball. 1 ball and no strikes to Phillips. Phillips doubled and scored to lead off the ball game. His 84th and National League leading run. Grounded out to shortstop last time. Pitch inside and low. 2 balls and no strikes to Brandon Phillips. Waiting on deck, Drew Stubbs. Stubbs with a sacrifice fly and a fly out to left field of his own all the way back to the warning track, sending Parra all the way back just shy of the wall. 2 balls and no strikes. Lopez checks the runner twice. The pitch fouled off into the third deck by Phillips. Looks like he was trying to shoot it down the right field line, and he was just a bit tardy. Phillips standing back in. Right-handed hitting all-star second baseman for the Reds. Here's the pitch, and he hits it hard, but it's right to the right fielder. Upton, and he'll put him away. So the Reds score one, and they strand one, but they lead the Diamondbacks here at Chase Field as we head to the bottom of four, 3-1 on the Reds Radio Network.
Broadcast is presented by authority of the Cincinnati Reds and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Steve Hawkins in for Jim Scott tomorrow morning. I've got Christopher Gorham of TV's Covert Affairs.
Chris Young set to lead things off for the Diamondbacks here in their own home field at Chase Field. They trail the Reds by 2. It is 3-1. Young hitting in the 4th spot tonight, hit leadoff last night. He is the first 2020 big leaguer this year. 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases as he takes a pitch right down the heart of the plate for strike one. He also has 29 RBIs. Volquez, the pitch, breaking ball, hit on the ground, foul down the third baseline and out of play. Reds fans, for great food with family and friends this summer, think JTM. Food, family, and fun. It's JTM. No balls and 2 strikes. As Young calls timeout, steps out of the batter's box. Taps the inside and the outside corners of the plate. Volquez is ready to go, and here he comes. Change up way outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Volquez has struck out 3 of his last 4 batters, and it's a 1-2 here. And he misses down low. Back-to-back change-ups from the right-hander Volquez, and they miss out of the strike zone. So Young back even in the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And he'll need to make a pitch right here, will Volquez. Right-hander with the drop step. Here's the pitch. Fastball, foul ball, right behind home plate. That baby bounced off the netting behind home plate and came all the way back into the air, just to the right of the catcher Hernandez. Bouncing back onto the field of play. Count remains 2-2. Volquez, a long look into Hernandez. He kicks and deals. Fastball outside corner, and he struck him out. Boy, Young is not happy about that one as Volquez strikes out his 3rd consecutive batter and 4th of his last 5 hitters. So Young is hit into a double play in the 1st inning, and he strikes out looking here to start the 4th. And here's Adam LaRoche. LaRoche scoring the only Diamondbacks run as a high curveball hangs outside. 1 ball and no strikes. LaRoche walked on 4 consecutive pitches to start the 2nd inning and came around to score without the benefit of a hit. Breaking ball, and this one's right on the money. Backdoor breaking ball hits the outside corner, and that'll even the count at a ball and a strike. LaRoche 6 consecutive years now of 20 home runs. A high changeup. And Volquez will snap that ball back from Hernandez. 2 balls and a strike. It's not too bad of power hitting and some consistent effort for LaRoche. Hammers this one down the right field line. Jay Bruce coming across. Rounding first, and LaRoche will put on the brakes, and he'll hold right there as Bruce got to that baby in a hurry and threw a bullet back into second base. So a single by LaRoche that'll bring Mark Reynolds to the plate. So the strikeout run for Volquez will end there. as he had struck out 3 in a row and 4 of his last 5 batters. Mark Reynolds stands in. 26 homers on the year. The pitch. And it's a breaking ball. Hits the inside corner. Reynolds takes it for a strike. Quickest man ever in Major League history to 700 strikeouts in 516 at-bats. So he is swinging hard. The pitch. Fastball, and he pulls it foul into the third base dugout. One of the Diamondback players on the far end barehanded it. And quickly Volquez is ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Reynolds trying to tie the game up. Volquez trying to work his way out of this 4th inning. Out of the stretch. Here's the pitch. Fastball up and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes as Reynolds not biting on that high heater. LaRoche is at first base. 1 out in the inning. Chris Young led off the inning with a strikeout looking. Volquez comes with a pitch, a changeup, and boy, that made Reynolds look awfully bad there. He looked like he was swinging underwater at that one. That was a tough one. He had to wait a long time on the changeup, and the bat speed just wasn't there. 2 down. 5th strikeout for Volquez. Well, that was a rough-looking swing. Volquez, that changeup, he can make a lot of people look bad. You're looking for something that's 95, and he drops that 81-mile-an-hour changeup with a little dipsy-doodle to it. And you look awfully bad taking a hack at it. Here's Montero. First pitch fastball misses inside, a 95-mile-an-hour heater from the right-hander Volquez. Montero, left-handed hitting catcher. He's been swinging the bat awfully well of late. Last 15 games, he's hit in 12 of them at a .328 clip. There goes the runner, and it's fouled off to the left side and out of play. So the Diamondbacks trying to do something here with 2 outs. After a strikeout in the leadoff spot, a base hit by LaRoche, and then a strikeout by Reynolds. 2 down in the inning. Montero standing at the plate. Out of the stretch is Volquez. He looks in for the sign, checks the runner. Here's the pitch. Swing, and it's fouled off. Another fastball down and in. One big, beautiful ballpark here at Chase Field. From the inside, that is. Well, they got all kind of stuff in here. You could get lost looking around in this joint. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Montero, the left-handed hitting catcher. 2 outs in the inning. Here's the pitch. Ground ball headed to Phillips, and he got it. He'll throw on to Edmonds, and that's it for the Diamondbacks. We head to the 5th. It is 3-1 Reds here over the Diamondbacks at Chase Field, and back to Marty Brenneman in the 5th on the Cincinnati Bell Reds Radio Network.
After the game, it's America's Trucking Network on 700 WLW.
3-1 ball game. The Reds have the lead as Drew Stubbs stands in to kick off inning number 5 against right-hander Rodrigo Lopez, whose pattern has continued tonight. The book on him susceptible to giving up the long ball, and he's given up 2 of them. Here's a rocket by the diving Mark Reynolds, and into left field, a base hit. So Stubbs 1 for 2 on the night and narrowly missed a home run back in the 3rd inning, and did deliver a run home with a sacrifice fly in the 1st. He's aboard with a single, and the batter is Jim Edmonds, who hit his first home run in a Reds uniform in the 3rd. and his 9th home run overall this season.
That's now a 6-game hitting streak for Drew Stubbs.
3 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Reds. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for the Diamondbacks. Here's a throw over, and Stubbs, who, of course, leads his ball club in stolen bases with 18, and has been thrown out only 3 times on the year. Edmonds, left-hand batter, waiting on the pitch, and once again, Lopez drives Stubbs back with a throw. Reds have played awfully well against this team the last few years. Of course, they win the first game and meeting of the year between these two teams last night. They're 6-1 the last 2 seasons and 10-3 over the last 3. That pitch inside for a ball, so the Reds to beat this ball club, nothing unusual. Carrying it a little bit further, they won 8 of the last 9 and 10 of the last 12 against Arizona. And this ball club has proven, still with a lot of time to go, that the teams they are supposed to beat, they do. There's a throw over, and that's why so many people have finally come to the realization right now that in order for them to win the division, they don't have to beat the Cardinals. They have to continue doing what they have been doing, because St. Louis has proven that they can't play winning baseball with a regularity that the Reds can against the rest of the league. And that's never been more evident than recently. Runner going, pitch is swung on, and a mile-high fly ball into center field. I mean, that baby was high enough to draw rain, and Chris Young makes the catch, and Stubbs has plenty of time to get back.
You know, Marty, Scott Rowland probably said it best. The Reds need to worry about one thing, and that's just continue to win series after series after series. And, boy, they sure have done it.
Spoken like this wily, old sage, old veteran that he is. And speaking of Rowland, here he is. He's single back in the 3rd. He's 1 for 2 tonight. He is 8 for his last 13. Stubbs taking the shot at stealing second on the fly out by Edmonds. There's another throw on to first. Scott settling back in. Lopez. They look down for the sign. The infield at double play depth. The outfield around toward left and deep. And the long hold. And, boy, I'll tell you, Lopez really waging a war on 2 fronts right now. Absolutely convinced that Stubbs will attempt to steal a bag again. And, of course, the unenviable task of trying to, along with that, get out a very, very good and a hot hitter right now. And in Scott Rowland, another throw over.
Well, if Rowland hits a home run, it doesn't matter if he runs or not.
No, it doesn't. Scott yet to take a look at a pitch. Lopez has thrown over 3 straight times. Let's see what he does with this one. He holds, and turns and throws on to first.
And you have to wonder, is that coming from the bench or is that coming from Rodrigo Lopez? That's a whole lot of throwing to first base.
Yes, it is. Redirecting his attentions back to Montero, and Scott Rowland at the plate. Good lead by Stubbs. Here's a pitch. And it's taken down and away. Ball 1.
A little bit quicker move by Lopez to home plate that time. Didn't quite bring that left leg up.
1 ball and no strikes. 1 man out in the inning. Now the stretch and the throw on to first again. So he continues to spend more time throwing over to first base. And Drew Stubbs and throwing to the plate and trying to go about the task of retiring Scott Rowland. Now the stretch and now the pitch. Or will he? He will. And Rowland takes inside a ball. We talked earlier tonight, we talked over the years about the sympathies that we extend to people and families due to the passing of a loved one. never more so than that of a young lady that I had the pleasure of knowing for a lot of years and doing commercial work with the Kroger Company. And Joe and I were very close to Amy Schulten, her married name Amy Schmidlin. Here comes a runner going. Here's a throw down and not in time. A stolen base, number 19 for Drew Stubbs. Well, Amy passed away in a fatal car crash this past weekend. And I certainly want to extend my sympathies and thoughts and prayers to the family, and in particular husband Greg. There will be a visitation from 4 to 8 at the Gwen Mooney Funeral Home at Spring Grove Cemetery tomorrow. Roland taking a strike. Friday at 10 a.m., a mass of Christian burial at Little Flower Church in Mount Airy, with a burial immediately following Mass at the St. James Cemetery in White Oak. Those of you who, as I did, knew Amy, and just a great, great young lady, and we had such a good time with her, and she was so knowledgeable and so concerned. Anytime we had a photo shoot or a commercial shoot, in attending to Joe and myself, and she will greatly be missed. And again, our sympathies to her husband Greg over the passing, the very untimely passing, and the very tragic passing of his wife, Amy Schmidlin. 3-2 pitch to Roland, and it's hit foul and out of play off the right field line. We're in the top of the fifth inning. The Reds have a 3-1 lead on the Arizona Diamondbacks and trying to add another run. Drew Stubbs, who led the inning off with a base hit, and after what seemed to be 1,000 throws over by Lopez, he finally took off for second and was able to steal the bag. And now the 3-2 on the way to Roland after a long look back. And he sends a high fly ball into right. Drifting back is Upton. He camps. He makes the catch. Stubbs will try to go to third, and he will be in standing up. So he's there with 2 out, and here's Johnny Gomes. He's popped out to first. He's popped out to shortstop in his 2 previous times up. Belatedly, we pause for identification on the Cincinnati Bell Reds Radio Network.
You started your business because you have a passion for what...
700 WLW Cincinnati.
Here's Johnny Gomes, and he takes a first pitch strike from Lopez with Stubbs now at third base. Lopez seemingly has been in trouble in every inning of this game. He misses upstairs to Gomes, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Looks like they've got DJ Carrasco warming up down in their bullpen again.
Yep, he pitched here last night. Lopez about to throw his 70th pitch of the night. The Reds have a 3-1 lead. Stubbs gets a lead down at third base. The wind, the kick, and the pitch, and it's high again, ball 2. Time called now as plate umpire Mike Winters comes out from behind catcher Montero. A time had been called. Now Gomes back in the box, tugging at the bill of that batting helmet as he always does, waiting. And he takes, and that's ball 3, and the count goes to 3-1. Reds got a run in the first, and then the solo home runs in the third from Jim Edmonds and the 4th inning from Jay Bruce, and those 2 home runs, the margin of difference right now. Johnny Gomes pops it up again. It is unbelievable. On the right side of the infield, and the second baseman makes the catch to end the inning. 3 times up, 3 times he's popped out. And in the middle of inning 5, 3-1 Reds on the Cincinnati Bell Reds Radio Network.
Use JTM.
I am Scott Sloan, back on the air tomorrow morning at 9:06. And for more, check out my blog at 700WLW.com.
Gerardo Parra swinging and missing on pitch 1 of this Arizona 5th inning. Over the previous 4, Edinson Volquez has given him 1 run on 2 hits, has struck out 5, has walked 3. Back he comes, and this one is fouled back and out of play. Parra tonight has grounded out a check swing bounce out to Scott Rowland in the second inning that got, to date, their only run in. Now the 0-2 pitch, and that one is grounded sharply to second on a knee to Pickett as Brandon Phillips, and on to first base, one out. Ryan Church has been summoned from the bench by manager Kirk Gibson to bat for Rodrigo Lopez, so he goes 5 innings, and they'll turn to the bullpen when the Reds come to bat in the top of the 6th inning. This Thursday, September 16th. Why not take a break from the office and enjoy lunch with the Reds during the next Paycor Business Day ball game? Enjoy a special $20 price for seats in the all-you-can-eat section thanks to the Business Courier. These seats include unlimited ballpark fare, hot dogs, popcorn, peanuts, and soda, all for one low price. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS or visit reds.com. Church is a left-handed batter. He takes the first pitch for a ball. He takes the next pitch for a ball, and the count's 2-0.
Are employees allowed to go out there in those seats?
I think they would make an exception, allow you to go out if you'd like to.
That'd be nice. They got any ice cream out there?
I don't know. Here's a 2-0, and that one's popped up behind the third base dugout, and the count's 2-1.
I could just drink Coke and eat peanuts.
You'd throw in a hot dog or two, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah, I'd be happy if I could get.
2 balls and 1 strike with 1 out here in the inning. The Reds leading 3-1. A winning night would mean they are 3 up on the Cardinals in the Central Division. Church takes, and the pitch is high, and it's a 3-1 count. Bullpen continuing to stay busy for the Arizona Diamondbacks. The pitch count now stands at 80 for Edinson Volquez, and he needs a strike here against a pinch hitter Church, and it's lined into left field, and that's going to drop for a base hit. Johnny Gomes gets over and allows the ball to get away, and that's going to be an error. Be a single and an error. Charge to Gomes in left. Something the Reds don't do very often. They lead the National League in fielding percentage. That has been a very, very strong suit for this ball club in this very exciting 2010 year. But Gomes simply could not find a handle on the ball, and Church took that opportunity to add a base to what was a pinch hit single. And now here's Stephen Drew, and it's high and away, ball 1.
That ball had the left-handed hitter spinning towards the left field line, and it didn't look like Gomes got quite over in front of it as much as he needed to, and it spun off the glove.
Drew tonight is single. He's lined out to center field, so he's had 2 pretty good at-bats back-to-back against Volquez. And now Edinson in that pattern again. He's pitching consistently behind in the count.
He is really dropping the elbow right now.
We got a lot of time between now and the end of the regular year, but you start thinking about the postseason. I don't frankly see, if this continues, and we've got a lot of baseball to play, that you could have Edinson Volquez among your top 3 starters once you get to the postseason. And there's a call strike, 2-1. The stuff nobody has questioned. There is absolutely nothing physically wrong with him. The fact of the matter is, when you think that he's on the verge of really scoring the breakthrough and consistently pound that strike zone with all of his pitches, he has a night like he's having tonight. He checks the runner and deals, and there's ball 3.
That one, not only did he drop the elbow, but he fell off to the first base side. And that normally tells you that you're getting a little bit fatigued.
Nothing going on by way of activity in the Reds bullpen. Stephen Drew putting a pretty good at-bat right now on Edinson Volquez with Ryan Church at second base and 1 out. The right-hander with a high hold. He looks back at the leading Church and comes to the plate. And there's strike 2 call, and the count is full, and it seems like he has had a ton of 3-2 counts in this game. Waiting on deck, Justin Upton. Reds have out-hit him by a whopping 8-3, but Volquez has kept him in the ball game because of his inability to consistently throw strikes. He deals, and that's a line drive into left field, and Gomes cannot make the catch. Had to play it on the short hop, and a bad decision by Johnny Gomes enables a runner to go to second. Boy, I'll tell you what, he's not getting it done at either end. I don't know why he opted to deal the throw home, because that simply enabled Drew to go to second base. And now they've got the tying runs in scoring position, and Johnny Gomes is having a very, very bad night.
And he's got to know it, too. The 3 pop-ups in the infield and the 2 plays there.
You got to be smarter than that to make a throw to the plate. The runner at third base had already stopped.
Well, you can't take your hitting out into the field.
No, you can't. That's exactly right, and that's what appears to be happening right now. Here's a pitch to Justin Upton, and he takes ball 1. We are going to get movement and probably activity underway in the Reds bullpen. That one, a line drive up the middle, base hit. 1 run scores. Here comes another run to the plate. Runner goes to second. It's a 3-3 ball game.
Boy, we have totally forgotten where the cutoff man resides.
No question.
I mean, you got no chance to get Stephen Drew at home plate on that ball up the middle. But you got to keep the double play in order, and that's twice now on balls hit in the outfield that the Reds have not done that.
Now Brian Price back to the mound. This is a twofold deal here. He's out there trying to help Volquez hopefully get through the inning, but if that's not the case, give those folks in the bullpen time to get warmed up. This game has been a major setback tonight for Edinson Volquez without any question. Now the meeting on the mound is over with. The Reds right-hander exchanges baseballs with a plate umpire, Mike Winters. And the batter will be the second baseman, Kelly Johnson.
Jordan Smith is throwing, and I believe, Marty, they're fixing to get up Bill Bray as well.
They are, and that means the left-hander joins a right-hander in the bullpen. Here's the stretch, the check of the runner, and the pitch to the plate. And it's in there for a call strike. Now the 1-0-1 coming, and that one a swing and a miss. He's made 2 good pitches back-to-back on Kelly Johnson. So the Diamondbacks have taken Rodrigo Lopez off the hook in this inning. And they'd love to be able to get that runner in from second base Upton to get the lead and maybe put him in line to pick up a win. Pitch number 92 coming up for Volquez, who looked in, stepped off, wants to see the signs again. He's got Johnson where he wants him at no balls and 2 strikes. And the right-hander turns it loose. And not by much did he miss with that pitch.
.97, that's his top velocity of the ball game.
Volquez radically slowing his pace down. Runner coming to third, and the pitch is swung on and fouled, and it's an awfully good thing because he had third base stolen. Second time tonight we have seen a runner clearly having the bag at third stolen, only to have the hitter foul it off. We saw Brandon Phillips do it earlier tonight on a ball that Drew Stubbs fouled away. And now Kelly Johnson hacking on a steal attempt that was going to be successful in every sense of the word by Upton, and the batter fouled it away. 3-3 game. The Diamondbacks rallying here in the 5th inning, and they hope they're not done yet. Here's a pitch, and it's fouled off. If you can assume, and at this stage, the way this inning has gone, there are no guarantees, but if you can assume that he can get through this inning without Dusty having to go to the bullpen, this would absolutely have to be the final inning of the game for him tonight, I would think, as he approaches the 100 pitch mark. And Kelly Johnson takes that pitch now, and the count's 2-2. The Mets and the Astros are in the 12th inning down in Houston. That game is tied at 2-2. They are early in Los Angeles. The Dodgers have a 2-1 lead on Colorado in the 4th. And the only game still going on in the American League, White Sox at Minnesota, 7-6 Twins in the 9th inning. The pitch. And a fly ball hammered back into right. Jay Bruce drifts back. He'll make the catch. Upton will advance after the play, and they're 2 out in the inning. Chris Young is grounded into a double play, is also struck out. UDF Slurper size, your malt sale is back, and Slurper sizier than ever. Upsize your UDF malt or shake to the next biggest size at no additional cost. UDF's classic hand-dip malts and shakes are thicker, they're colder, and they're now bigger than ever. So shake up the end of summer literally before the UDF Slurper size event ends. Dairy Fresh, Dairy Fun, United Dairy Farmers. Go ahead, run at third, 2 out. Young taking, ball 1.
It just doesn't seem as though Edinson Volquez really ever hit the perfect rhythm. He had a little bit of brilliance there in the 3rd inning, but that's been about it.
Now the pitch, and he's behind, 2 balls and no strikes. Boy, I'll tell you what, you hit 100 pitches in 5 innings, and that is way, way, way too much. He is behind in the count to the dangerous Young as he throws the 2-0 pitch. And that one is taken for ball 3. You've got the left-handed batter, Adam LaRoche, coming up next. Don't be surprised if you don't see Bill Bray come in there to face him.
Yeah, I think this is the last batter for Volquez.
He's allowed 5 hits, but in defense of Volquez, 3 of them have come in this inning. I mean, through 4 innings, only a run on 2 hits, despite being in trouble quite a bit because of his inability to consistently throw strikes. Chris Young takes, and that's a strike, and the count's 3-1. So it is going to be a short night by pitching standards for both of the starters. Rodrigo Lopez has been lifted for a pinch hitter in the inning. And right now it's Volquez going pitch by pitch. There's strike 2 call.
Good job there by Young not to swing at that changeup. If he had, he'd have popped that baby straight up to the moon.
Well, that's the one thing he's had tonight. When he's been able to throw that pitch over the plate, it has been devastating. So 3-2 the count. Justin Upton at third base. 2 runs are home in the inning. 3-3 the score in inning number 5 in Phoenix. The pitch. And he pops him up, but out of play. Got in on him, and Young drops it in behind the first base dugout. So now with 102 pitches, And the ratio is terrible, 59 strikes and 43 balls. Volquez will try Young at least one more time. The pause, the kick, and the pitch. And it's a line drive to left, but a foul ball. Wow.
Well, that was lucky.
Yep.
The one thing that I've noticed tonight from the Diamondbacks is that each at bat that they have put on Volquez has been pretty good. They have really fought and battled when they've had a chance to drive in a run.
Well, they'll do it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 3-3. The Reds and the Diamondbacks. Upton hands on hips, taking a lead down at third base. And Volquez unloading to the plate. And Young swings and fouls still again.
What I find amazing is that you get to this point in the ball game, and after being 3-0, he has thrown now 5 consecutive pitches in the strike zone. Maybe it's a little concentration issue.
Well, whatever it is, he's got to get it straightened out. Here's his 3-2 pitch again. And Chris Young swings and sends a drive. Deep left field. 5-3 in favor of Arizona. Fouled off 3 straight 3-2 pitches, and then hits a bomb into the bleachers in left center. Number 21 for the Arizona outfielder, and they have scored 4 times in the inning and lead 5-3. Here comes Dusty Baker. The end of a miserable night for Edinson Volquez. In fact, Dusty's going to make a double switch. He's going to bring Lance Nix off the bench. He is probably going to come into the game for Johnny Gomes. He is. Gomes will leave. Nix will come in. He'll bat ninth. And after getting the proper paperwork taken care of with plate umpire Mike Winters, Dusty will go to the mound and bring on the left-hander Bill Bray to face left-handed batting Adam LaRoche. A break in the action. A comeback inning for the D-backs, and we'll be back in a moment. Kez is
game for Bill Bray as he's posted a 1.35 earned run average in his last 9 appearances and a 2.16 in his last 11.
Left-hander against left-hand batter. LaRoche has walked and singled and has scored a run. The pitch to him is taken beneath the knees of ball. Close the book on Volquez, 4 2/3 innings. He allowed 5 runs, all earned on 6 hits. Struck out 5 and walked 3. That one is hit into right. It's hit well. Going back, Bruce, near the track, there to make the play and end the inning. A big, big fifth for Arizona. 4 across, and at the end of 5, the D-backs lead 5-3 on the Cincinnati Bell Reds radio network.
This is 700.
Jeff Brantley, Marty Brenneman back at Chase Field as we go to the top of the 6th inning. Right-hander Esmerling Vasquez is the man to take over on the mound now for Rodrigo Lopez, who goes 5. But because of that big, big 5th inning for the D-backs, stands to be the winning pitcher.
Vasquez has allowed a home run in his last ball game to Ryan Zinnerman. He's been scored on in 6 of his last 10 outings.
Well, let's see if that can't continue here tonight. Jay Bruce has had a big night up to this point, a bunt single and a solo home run. So the Reds have made a habit all year coming from behind. They're going to have to do it again, and it would be for the 2nd night in a row. They trailed by 2 early last night, came back to win it 6-2, and after leading 3-1, they're now on the short end of a 5-3 score, batting in the 6th. 1-0 to count on Bruce, and that one is way inside, and it's ball 2. Vasquez making his 43rd appearance with a 1-4 record and a 4.6 earned run average. 43 innings. He's given up 37 hits, 44 strikeouts, and the telling number, 27 walks. There's a swing and a miss. And the pitch, and that one is hit foul and out of play down the left field line. Reds got well against this Arizona bullpen last night. Bruce strikes out swinging.
Well, he just let that one loose right there.
He really did. Pitching line on Lopez, 5 innings, 8 hits. He struck out a batter, did not walk anybody, and that's probably the thing, moreover than anything else, that saved him from what could have been a real mess, because you give up 8 hits in 5 innings, you normally are going to give up more than just 3 runs, but that's all he gave up. He struck out 1, did not walk a batter. Here is Hernandez with a base hit and a line out to left. And he rips it up the middle, and that's a solid base hit.
Whew. It's a good thing Vasquez fell off to the first base side. That would have been a bell ringer.
So now the Reds have their 9th hit, and Paul Janisch will stand in. He singled back in the 4th. Save big on prescriptions at your Kroger pharmacy. Kroger offers hundreds of generic prescriptions priced at $4 for a 30-day supply or $10 for a 90-day supply. Hurry in to see if your prescriptions are included and get more value for the way you live at Kroger. Fastball strike. Now the 0-1 offering, and that one a swing and a miss. Good breaking ball down, and he fooled Giannis very badly. Lance Nix, of course, batting in the number 9 spot in the order. He's on deck. They're in the 13th now in Houston. 2 Mets, 2 Houston. And a 2-2 tie, the Rockies in Dodger Stadium in the bottom of the 4th inning. Very high in the air and very playable in foul ground, first base side. Adam LaRoche gloves it, and that's the second out of the inning. So Lance Nix will stand in to swing the bat for the first time tonight. He, of course, started in left field last night, had a hit in 5 times up, and scored a run.
Well, this is his kind of pitcher. This is a guy who's going to rear back and let that fastball go, and normally that's who Nix likes.
16 hits in his last 34 times up. That's a .471 batting average, and he waves at pitch number 1.
Threw him a changeup on the first pitch. Should have known.
Hernandez taking the lead over at first base with 2 out. 5-3. The Diamondbacks have the lead. We're in inning number 6. And the hold and the pitch. And that's another swing and a miss.
Back-to-back changeups. That's the old scouting report coming into play there.
They're going to throw him what he can't hit. They're not going to throw him what he can hit. Reds have had hits in every inning of this ball game. So far, have stranded 5 runners on base. That fastball is up and out of the strike zone. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Diamondbacks with a big 4-run rally in the last inning. A 2-run single by Justin Upton. A 2-out, 2-run home run by Chris Young. Nick swings and misses. And the inning is over. 1 hit, 1 left. Middle of inning number 6. Not a good story. D-backs lead the Reds 5-3.
These the home of the first place Reds. 700 WLW.
Hope you're planning to be a part of the CBTS. Marty Brenneman gone. Bill Bray, who came on to get the last out of the 5th inning, now will begin the 6th against the right-handed batting Mark Reynolds, who has walked and struck out. Reynolds slow to get in the batter's box. Bray is poised and at the ready. And now the former University of Virginia Cavalier in the box and waiting. And the first pitch on the way and a swing and a miss. Final score in Minnesota tonight. The Twins have beaten the White Sox again.
Wow.
7-6 the final score. 1 ball, 1 strike. That means the Twins now have a 5-game lead over the White Sox in the AL Central. Of course, Jim Thome hit the dramatic home run last night in the bottom of the 10th inning to give the Twins a win over the White Sox. That's a ball down and in. And apparently this afternoon, in a wild harangue by Ozzie Guillen that touched on a million different subjects, one of which happened to do with Jim Thome, and he said that he would accept all the blame. He checked his swing. No, he did not. For Jim Thome not being still a member of the Chicago White Sox. And he defended Paul Konerko and defended Carlos Quentin, two people who have benefited from the fact that Thome is somewhere else. But the Chicago press apparently making such a big deal about Thome and being a former White Sox who hit the home run to beat him last night at a critical point in this pennant race. And Ozzie Guillen kind of lost his mind.
Kinda.
Not unusual. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and a swing at a miss. He struck him out. So Bray with a punch out to begin the inning, and now will work against a left-handed batting Miguel Montero. Montero is bounced to the box. He's grounded out to second base. 6 strikeouts now have been recorded tonight by Reds pitching. Bray lets it fly, and Montero shows bunt, takes high and away, ball 1. Tomorrow night, 2 left-handers, Travis Wood and Joe Saunders. And then from here, it'll be on to Los Angeles and Dodger Stadium Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon. That's a swing, and he came up empty. Friday night's opener will have Homer Bailey against right-hander Vicente Padilla. Saturday, Johnny Cueto against right-hander Chad Billingsley. And Sunday, Bronson Arroyo against the best in Joe Torre's rotation. And that would be left-hander Clayton Kershaw. Fastball missing. Then Monday night, Tuesday night, and next Wednesday afternoon to close out this 9-game road trip, the Reds will battle the Giants in San Francisco. Two balls, 1 strike with 1 out. 5-3 the score. The D-backs lead it, bottom of the 6th inning, and a foul ball back. Montero settling back in to continue this 6th inning visit with Bray. And he reaches and pops it up. Chasing after it is Scott Rowland, running out of room. The ball's in the seats behind the third base dugout.
Bray almost seems to have a better breaking ball in the 2nd inning after sitting for a moment than he does when he first comes into the ball game. I wonder if that's because he's too hyped when he first comes in, trying to throw it too hard.
Now with a 2-2 again, and just missing, and not by much. Ball 3. He went 3-2, struck out Mark Reynolds, and now throws a 3-2 pitch to Montero and walked him. So he strikes out the right-hand batter, and he walks the left-hand batter.
The whole reason that Dusty left him in the ball game is he's got back-to-back lefties here.
That's right. Parr is 0 for 2. Grounded to third, grounded to second, and is knocked in a run.
Augie Ojeda has moved into the on-deck circle.
He would be batting for the pitcher Vasquez. Gray now backs away from the pitching rubber as the batter calls timeout. Gerardo Parra back in the box, infield looking for the ground ball. Rolling wide of the bag and even with it at third base. And that's a swing and a miss. We failed to mention last night the passing of a gentleman who was a focal point of maybe one of the top one or two all-time moments in the history of sport. And that was the passing of a man known as the Flying Scotsman, Bobby Thompson. Here's a high fly ball hit to center field. Going back and making the catch will be Drew Stubbs. And that is the second out of the inning. Bobby Thompson, the man who hit the dramatic home run, the 3-run homer in the bottom of the ninth inning off of Ralph Branca in the deciding game of the National League playoff. A year that saw the New York Giants 13.5 games out of first place on August the 15th. Went on a 16-game winning streak to force a tie at the end of regulation. Each team won a game in the best-of-3 playoff, and Thompson hit the home run that they have referred to for these many years as the shot heard round the world. And the exciting call of Russ Hodges, the Giant play-by-play man who repeated over and over and over again, the Giants win the pennant. The Giants win the pennant. 1 ball and 1 strike on pinch hitter Augie Ojeda. Passed away yesterday in Savannah, Georgia at the age of 88. And he and Ralph Branca later became fast friends, made untold number of appearances all over the country together, reliving one of the more magical moments, not only in baseball, but in all the world of sport. In fact, some years ago, the Sporting News and Sports Illustrated got into something of a battle as to whether or not the home run by Thompson was the single greatest moment in sports history or the second single greatest moment in sports history. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, I know when I signed with the Giants out of college, that was one thing that you heard. If you didn't hear it every day, you heard it at least every other day.
I'm sure.
It was about as famous as it gets.
Now the stretch and the 1-2 pitch. And Ojeda taking up and away a ball. I never got a chance to meet Bobby Thompson. I did on numerous occasions visit with Ralph Branca. Not a nicer man in the world. Ralph Branca happens to be the father-in-law of one Bobby Valentine. And, boy, what a magical moment that was at the Polo Grounds in 1951. Swinging, fly ball, left field, chasing Nix. He'll not get it. Near the line, he'll make the pickup, and they'll go first and second and no farther. Lance got to that ball in a hurry and turned and got it back in the air toward the infield. So leading 5-3, the Diamondbacks are threatening again with runners at first and second and Stephen Drew stepping in.
Well, you can still look back at the walk to Montero. Left-handed batter with a left-handed pitcher on the mound.
Yep.
When you walk people out of the bullpen, it usually ends up in trouble.
2 men on, 2 men out. And Drew, another left-hand batter, and it's low and away, ball 1. Reds had a 3-1 lead at one point, but Arizona's offense has come alive in the 5th inning when they scored 4 times and trying to add more here in the 6th. And there's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Arizona now with 7 hits in the game.
Feels kind of weird to see the Reds give up a lead because they've thrown the ball so well lately.
Yep. Now the 1-1 pitch. And it's up high. And Bill Bray really does not have much command tonight. He walks down behind the mound to rub up the baseball. Stirring again in the Reds bullpen. The man who shot one out of here. A 2-run home run to give them the lead was Chris Young. There's a swing and a miss. But the man on deck, Justin Upton, tied the game with a 2-run single in the last inning off of Edinson Volquez.
This is the first time that Bray's been to the mound in 7 days.
Well, that could have something
to do
with a lack of command. 2 men on, 2 men out, 2-2 pitch. And strike 3 call, and that ends the inning. So they threaten, but that's the extent of it. Jeff Brantley will be back with the play-by-play as we go to the 7th. Diamondbacks have a 5-3 lead on the Cincinnati Bell Reds radio network.
Is being brought to you by your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers and the full-size Toyota Tundra. For over 30 Toyota offers or a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. Reds trail by 2. And the top of the order will be coming to the plate. It'll be Phillips, Stubbs, and Edmonds, and they'll be facing Sam Dimmel, right-handed pitcher, 1-0 on the year. This will be his 24th appearance. 25 innings, 26 hits. He's only given up 5 walks, 21 strikeouts. So Mr. Dimmel will be around the plate. Got his first career save just a few days ago against the Brewers on August 10th. Scoreless in 6 of his last 7 outings. First pitch, fastball, inside corner, strike 1. 94-mile-an-hour running heater right in on the hands of Phillips. Reds had the early 3-1 lead, but the bottom of the 5th inning proved a little ugly as the Diamondbacks put 4 on the board, and they have the lead now 5-3. No balls and 2 strikes to Phillips as that pitch caught the outside corner. The Reds playing catch-up once again. Sam Dimmel bends way over at the waist. Here's the pitch. Up and away. Another fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Phillips. Phillips has seen nothing but the number 1 thus far in this at-bat. Right-handed batters hitting .300 against Dimmel, but left-handers hitting .211. Not usually the way righty on righty works out. Hopefully for Phillips and the Reds, it'll hold true here. 1 ball and 2 strikes as the right-hander comes plateward outside. A 95-mile-an-hour fastball. He overthrew that one as he fell off to the first base side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, like I said, Dimmel has only walked 5 batters here in 2010. Right-hander really bends at the waist. The pitch hit on the ground to the shortstop, Drew. He's got it. Throws on DeRoche, and there's 1 down. So a fastball away. Phillips catches it off the end of the bat. Hits it directly to the shortstop, Stephen Drew. Drew throws him out at first base. That's the first out here in the top of the 7th inning. And here's Drew Stubbs. Stubbs 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a stolen base and an RBI. Sinker down in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. Sacrifice fly in the first. A long, deep fly ball into left field his second time up. That was gloved by Parra. And then a single down the left field line and a stolen base. Swing and a miss. Another good sinking fastball. Down and in to the right-handed swinging Stubbs. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sam Dimmel can heat it up a little bit. He stays right around that 94, 95-mile-an-hour mark, but I have yet to see another pitch. That's all we've seen is the fastball. Right-hander sets and deals. There's another one right on the outside corner, 94. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Stubbs. Stubbs swinging the bat backwards and forwards at the plate. Waiting on the 1-2 pitch from Dimmel. Outside. Dimmel gets a couple of strikes, and he really overthrows that fastball, falling off to the first base side. But that pitch came in at 95 miles an hour, just a bit outside. Reds got to get something started here as Logan Ondrusek throwing down in the Reds bullpen. They trail by 2. It is 5-3. Reds and Diamondbacks scoreless in the 6th. Pitch outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. You got to believe the Reds would love to have Stubbs aboard with 1 out here and give either Edmonds or Rowland a chance to demonstrate their long ball skills. 3-2 pitch, and it's fouled off at home plate. So far for Dimmel, nothing but the number 1. No change-ups, no breaking balls, just the fastball, in and out. Right-hander pitches from the first base side of the rubber. He's got good sinking action on the fastball. He sets, he deals. Outside corner, strike 3. Ball came right back to the corner, started off the plate, right back to the outside corner, and down goes Stubbs. 2 down for Jim Edmonds. Edmonds struck out his first time up on 3 pitches. Hit an opposite field home run his second time up. And hit a moonshot to high center field his last time up. Pitch. Inside, just a bit inside. That looked like a breaking ball there to Edmonds. First breaking ball that we've seen from the right-hander Sam Dimmel. Right-hander comes to the set, kicks and deals. Another fastball that is fouled off at home plate. Edmonds just a tad behind that one. Diamondbacks have some young arms that we have seen thus far. Daniel Hudson in last night's ball game was outstanding for 5 or 6 innings. Pitch. This one grounded right back to the pitcher, Dimmel. He'll shuffle it on to LaRoche. 3 up, 3 down for the youngster. We head to the bottom of 7. The Reds are down by 2 here on the Cincinnati Bell Reds Radio Network.
Time for the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by Tire Discounters, the home of free alignment. Each tire purchase includes free
Gold Star Chili, the flavor of Cincinnati.
Steve Hawkins in for Jim Scott tomorrow morning. I've got Christopher Gorham of TV's Covert Affairs, 700 WLW.
We head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Jordan Smith on the mound for the Reds. Before we start, let's pause for station identification on the Cincinnati Bell Reds Radio Network. Save on the year, a 2.57 earned run average. He's had scoreless streaks of 11 games and 13 inning pitch. Has had a 1.2 earned run average since the All-Star break, and he throws the first pitch to the backstop. 1 ball, no strikes. Right-handed hitting Justin Upton is at the plate. Jordan Smith, right-hander, kicks and deals. This ball fouled off to the right side and out of play. Last time Smith was on the mound has been approximately 5 days. Last pitched against Florida, 1 inning. On the 13th of this month. He kicks and deals the 1-1 pitch, and it's hammered on the ground, but it's right to Phillips. Throws on to first, one down. Boy, he hit that one hard, but it was right to Brandon. One out in the inning. That'll bring the left-handed hitting second baseman for the Diamondbacks to the plate, Kelly Johnson. Johnson does not have a hit tonight, even though he hits at a .324 clip at home. Had a career-high 19th home run in last night's ball game. He's walked, struck out, and flied out to right field. Swinging at the first pitch, he pops it off to the left side, out of play. The one thing that we have seen from young Jordan Smith, who did skip over AA, or skip over AAA as he came from AA, is he has shown no signs of being intimidated here in the big leagues. A lot of strikes thrown. Line drive, Phillips got it. 2 down. Kelly Johnson hit that one right off of his knuckles, just to the right of Brandon Phillips. Phillips slides the glove up, makes the catch, and quickly the right-hander Jordan Smith has put 2 in the books. Chris Young. The big 3-run jack from Chris Young has been the big difference in this ball game. Came back in the 5th. Fastball down low, 1 ball, no strikes. 2-run home run, excuse me. And he hit it a ton. The 1-0 pitch, a breaking ball, just misses high, 2-0. And it came on an excellent at-bat from Chris Young. He had fouled off pitch after pitch after pitch, and finally got one from Volquez and cranked it out. Swing and a miss. Good fastball inside that time from Jordan Smith. Threw that one right by him on a 2-0 pitch. Young steps in. 4-hole hitter tonight, leadoff hitter last night. Pitch. Hammers it down the third base line, past a diving Roland, rounding first, heading into second with his 30th double of the year is Chris Young. Well, he has hit the ball hard in this series. '30th double of the year for the 2020 young man, the center fielder for the Diamondbacks. 30 doubles now, 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases, the first in the big leagues to do that this year. And with 2 outs and a runner at second base, Jordan Smith calls Hernandez out to the mound as he'll be facing the left-handed hitting Adam LaRoche. LaRoche has a hit. He's walked and scored the first run for the Diamondbacks tonight, and he's flying out to right field off of Bill Bray. Smith with a pitch, breaking ball, inside corner, strike 1. And boy, LaRoche did not like that one as he turns around to Mike Winters with a vicious stare. No balls and a strike as the right-hander Smith kicks and deals. Long, deep fly ball. It is 7-3. A 2-run jack with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th by Adam LaRoche. Home run number 21 and his team-leading 77th RBI. Oh, my goodness. That ball was hit a long way. So it has not been a good night for Reds pitching. Fastball away as Mark Reynolds steps in. He has walked and struck out twice. I'm sure he would love to get in on the action. Smith kicks and deals a ground ball, pulled foul over the far end of the third base dugout and into the seats. One ball and one strike on the third baseman, Mark Reynolds. Waves that bat back and forth. The pitch from Smith, grounded off at home plate. Looked like it caught the back ankle of the right-handed hitting Mark Reynolds. One in the second, 4 in the fifth, and now 2 here in the bottom of the seventh. Have put 7 runs on the board for the Diamondbacks. Struck him out, breaking ball outside corner. And down goes Reynolds for the third time. But the Diamondbacks have struck again. A 2-run home run by Adam LaRoche. 7-3 as we head to 8. And back to the Hall of Famer, Marty Brennan on the Cincinnati Bell Reds Radio Network.
If you're a family of Reds fans, Bob Evans is giving you another
ULW.
Well, the task becomes a bit harder now. Only 2 innings remain, and the Reds find themselves not down by 2, but by 4. As a result of that 2-run home run by Adam LaRoche in the last inning. 7-3 the score. Sam Demmel in his second inning of work will get rolling and the pitcher's spot, and then Jay Bruce due up in the inning. Miguel Cairo already out of the dugout. He would be the man to bat for the pitcher. And Roland waiting, and the first pitch is in for a call strike. 15,509 show up for tonight's Titanic struggle. 15,509. And the 0-1, and that one's taken for a strike at the knees. Unless the Reds can come back big time, it's going to be a missed opportunity for them, a chance to add another game to their lead over the slumping Cardinals, who lost again today at home to Milwaukee 3-2. And Roland takes low and away a ball. The hits are even in this game, 9 apiece. But since the solo home run by Jay Bruce in the 4th inning made it a 3-1 ball game, it has been all Arizona. 4 runs in the 5th, 2 more in the 7th. Swing and a miss, and that's a strikeout. Second punch out for Demmel, and now indeed Miguel Cairo will stand in. Our friends at Duke Energy have lots of low-cost, no-cost things you can do to make your home more energy efficient. And one of them is, well, as easy as screwing in a light bulb. A GE Energy Star qualified CFL bulb, because it uses about a quarter of the energy it takes to produce the same amount of light as an incandescent bulb. Cairo, right-hand batter, first pitch a strike.
All right, fans, it is time for Ask Marty, where we can ask the Hall of Famer to give his thoughts on any subject. Baseball, non-baseball, all presented by CBTS.
Do it, Tony.
Tonight's question comes from Kelly in Burlington, Kentucky.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you.
Kelly would like to know,
yes.
Marty.
Yes, Kelly.
Do you ever think we'll see another player manager in baseball?
No, I don't think so.
Major League Baseball.
I don't believe we will.
Never?
No, I don't think we'll ever see another player manager in Major League Baseball. I think Pete Rose is the last one to do it. Here's a swing and a foul. I just think today there's just too much demand on your time to just manage a ball club. I just don't think you can do justice to either one. And you can't use Pete as an example, because Pete was and is an extraordinary person. He was able to do it. But I don't really believe that any team will entrust the managerial job to someone who is also still an active player.
Well, Pete could just concentrate on managing. He didn't really have to think about hitting, because he was the greatest hitter there's been.
Well, I don't think he's the greatest hitter that ever lived. I think he's a hitter with the most hits. And he will say that. He said, I'm not the greatest hitter who ever lived. I'm just the guy that's had the most hits. Here's a 2-2 pitch. And it's down low and a full count.
You didn't have to think about it much. I know that.
It's an interesting subject. It really is. I just, it's been how long now? It's been 21 years.
Since he was there?
Well, I'm thinking how long it's been since he quit being a player manager. Probably 22, 23 years. And you haven't had one since then. So I don't seem to think there will be a one anytime in the future. Line drive up the middle on a 3-2 pitch. And that's a base hit for Miguel Cairo.
There's also a lot of politicking, I would imagine, that goes into that avenue as well.
I would think so, yeah.
If you'd like to suggest a topic for Ask Marty, please send it via email to redzoneradio@reds.com. Thanks to the people at CBTS, the Cincinnati Bell Company, technology solutions for your business.
One out single by Cairo off the bench, and now it'll be Jay Bruce, and Bruce has had a bunt single. He's had a home run, and he has also struck out. And the pitch to him is taken just a bit outside, ball one.
Well, Carlos Gonzalez for the Rockies just ran into the wall full speed. He is out on the track.
Mercy. Here's a rocket into center field. Boy, he got every bit of that ball, and it'll be over the glove of the center fielder, Chris Young. One run will score. Bruce is heading toward third, and he will be in standing up with an RBI triple. His fifth three-base hit of the season, and it is a 7-4 ball game.
Boy, those are back-to-back balls that were absolutely tagged.
Jay Bruce has had a big night tonight. Right now, Mel Stottlemyre Jr. is heading out to talk with Sam Demmel. And the bullpen real busy for Arizona. They got a right-hander and the left-hander throwing as we speak. It'd be nice to see Bruce get another at-bat tonight and have a shot at the cycle. Yeah.
Tell you what, he was picking them up and putting them down as that ball went over Young's head in center field. He was flying.
I'll tell you, Chris Young did a great job at getting back to the ball and making it as close a play as it turned out to be.
Just having an effort.
Yeah. So now with one out, you really have to get that runner in from third base here.
No doubt.
And it'll be Ramon Hernandez, who has had 2 hits in 3 times up. At this stage, I'm sure Kirk Gibson, the Arizona interim manager, will not hang around with Sam Demmel very long. He brings it to the plate, and that one's lined down the right field line. That's for extra bases. That's going to score another run. Hernandez does the job with a double out of the wrong barrel, and it is 7-5 now.
Well, that's a great job of hitting right there. Good hard fastball from Demmel, and he just shoots it right down the right field line. Perfectly placed, hit it right on the nose.
So the Reds rock Sam Demmel with 1 out, a single by Cairo off the bench, a run-scoring triple by Bruce, an RBI double by Hernandez. And now Paul Giannis will be at the plate with still only 1 man out. Now you see what a big home run, the one that Adam LaRoche hit in the last inning. Kind of interesting. Mark Wagner sends us a note saying before Jay Bruce tonight, the last Reds outfielder with a bunt hit and a home run in the same game happened 5 years ago, Ken Griffey Jr. First pitch is taken low and inside, and he checked his swing in time, ball 1. But the last Reds player with a bunt hit and a home run in the same game happened July 4th this season in Chicago, Paul Giannis. And that's a man trying to get Hernandez home to make it a 1-run game.
Arthur Rhodes just getting up in the Reds pen.
That's taken, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Lance Nix waiting on deck. They've got a left-hander heating up and probably is ready to go for Arizona. Demmel with a motion on the mound. Kicks and deals, and that's a strike. 2-1. This Reds ball club has done it time and time again, and that is come back and win ball games. They enter tonight's game third in the major leagues with 34 come from behind wins. The Yankees have had 38. The Braves have had 36. And the Reds are trying to do it again tonight. Here's a line drive, base hit, left center field. And they'll not get Hernandez in. That ball was stung so hard and got out there to the left fielder, Gerardo Parra, so quickly that Hernandez had no chance at all. And now here comes Kirk Gibson going to plate umpire Mike Winters. He will make a double switch, and he will bring on a left-hander to face Lance Nix after we find out where the position player is going and when he leaves that Arizona dugout.
Well, every ball that the Reds have hit this inning, I mean, you can hear the echo of the wood up here in the press box where we sit.
So the changes have been made. A left-hander entering the game with runners at first and third. And the Reds trying to come off the mat. They trail 7-5. They'll have the go-ahead run at the plate. And we'll be back in just a moment.
Left-hander has come on. He got his sixth save earlier this week against the Brewers after getting out of a bases-loaded jam in the 10th inning. Had 8 scoreless innings from July 21st to that 6th of scoreless baseball. Heilman, the right-hander, will face the left-handed hitting Nix.
So Kirk Gibson, obviously, with much more faith in going against the percentages, that is bringing a right-hander on to face a left-hand batter when he had a left-hander warmed up. Let's see how it turns out. Nix with runners on the corners, 1 out and 2 in. And he takes a fastball for a strike.
Heilman looking for his 7th save. Even record of 3-3 with a .333 earned run average. This is his 53rd time on the mound.
Nix batted in the 6th inning and struck out. And the pitch, and that's a high fly ball into right center. I don't think that's going to get anybody in. The catch made by Upton, and it'll not. Now the overthrow, and now the flip back, and safe. An overthrow by Upton. Heilman caught the ball on the fly. What a heads-up bit of base running by Ramon Hernandez. He came to the plate, and then it was a matter of whether or not Heilman could get the ball to Montero soon enough. And a great slide by Hernandez makes it a 1-run game at 7-6.
What amazes me is that Hernandez tagged anyway, knowing that he wasn't going to go. He ran about halfway down the line, and that caused Upton to hurry his throw, and he just airmailed everybody.
So that's a sacrifice fly for Lance Nix, making it a 7-6 game, and now the Reds are a base hit away from tying it up. Brandon Phillips settling in there with 2 down and the runner at second base. And the pitch, a swing and a miss. And, boy, he has just had a woeful year with runners in scoring position. Phillips has doubled, grounded to short, fly to right, and bounced out to shortstop. And this one is fouled off, and he's in a hole at 0-2. Had a chance to drive a run in the 4th inning, but was the final out when he fly to right. Reds have scored 3 times here in the 8th, and have closed to within a run at 7-6.
What a bit of base running by Hernandez.
Unbelievable. Heilman in the driver's seat here, and he misses inside a ball.
I guess Hernandez just read the height of that throw and just took off.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Phillips windmilling the bat around. The check of the runner at second base, Giannis. The kick, the pitch. And here's a fly ball. Hammered down the left field line. That's going to be a fair ball. It is a ground rule double, and this game is tied up at 7. Brandon Phillips rips one that bounced once on the warning track and kicked into the Arizona bullpen. And the Reds, with a 4-run 8th inning, have made it a brand new ball game at 7-7.
Phillips reached down and caught that breaking ball that was spinning away from him. He hit it one-handed and hooked it all the way down the line and bounced over into the Diamondbacks bullpen. How about that?
Drew Stubbs, the 8th man to bat. Reds have had 5 hits in the inning, producing 4 runs against the Arizona bullpen. Stubbs takes high, ball 1. I mean, you can't be surprised that they've done it.
No, they've done it so many times.
It's been commonplace all year long for this team to do what we're watching them do here in Arizona. That pitch is a strike, 1-1. You can close the book on Sam Dimmel, an inning and a third. He gave up 3 hits. He gave up 4 runs. He struck out 2. 1 ball and 1 strike, and the pitch taken inside. So Edinson Volquez cannot lose it. Rodrigo Lopez cannot win it. And it's going to be a battle now as to which bullpen can do the better job. It's a 2-1 pitch coming to the waiting Drew Stubbs with a go-ahead run at second. He line drives one into center, but it'll be caught by Chris Young, and the inning is over. But the Reds played 4 runs, and in the middle of the 8th inning, it's a 7-7 game on the Cincinnati Bell Reds radio network.
Computers are used.
Good WLW.
Arthur Rhodes is on the mound. Left-hander Rhodes is on for the 56th time on the year. An even record at 3 wins and 3 losses, a 1.40 earned run average, 45 innings, only 26 walks. He struck out 40 opponents. Well, they hit only 170 against him.
Second night in a row that Arthur Rhodes has been used, and the 3rd time in the last 4 ball games. Facing the lower third, Miguel Montero to lead it off, followed by Gerardo Parra. And then the third baseman, part of the double switch in the top of the inning, Rusty Ryle. First pitch on the inside for a strike. Let me redo the line on Sam Dimmel. An inning at third, 4 hits. I said 3 hits, 4 hits, 4 runs, and 2 strikeouts. The pitch, and Montero takes high, 1-1. Jordan Smith, an inning, gives up 2 hits and 2 runs, both earned, struck out a batter. 7-7 ball game here in the bottom of the 8th. Everything is stone quiet in the Arizona bullpen. The Reds bullpen is busy. That pitch is taken low and away. Nick Massett heating up for Cincinnati. Rhodes last night came on, worked 2/3 of an inning, coming in the 8th inning, and struck out back-to-back batters, Adam LaRoche and this man right here. And this is a swing at a foul, evening the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rhodes taking his time. Sights a sign from Hernandez. Now stretches and throws a break-even pitch, and that one's popped up and out of play. We invite you to visit the official online shop of the Reds at Reds.com. Browse the largest selection of official gear, including the latest apparel, memorabilia, and authentic classics for the entire family. Get your gear straight from the source. Shop the Reds.com shop. Pitch. Ball 3. Wow. I guarantee you one thing. Hernandez just held the mitt in place, and Arthur Rhodes, visibly shocked that plate umpire Mike Winters called that pitch a ball.
Well, it looked as though Rhodes was going to turn towards third base to watch him throw the ball around.
Big pitch coming up right here. And it's fouled away, and Miguel Montero hanging in. That long night of baseball in Houston goes to the New York Mets. They win it by a final score of 3-2. 7th inning, the Rockies and the Dodgers are tied at 2, and everything has been shut down for the night in the American League. That Mets-Astros game, by the way, went 14. Ground ball. Oh. No, what a play by Rhodes. He flagged it down, goes down on both knees, picks it up, and throws to first. That's the defensive play of the ball game.
Boy, how did he catch that baseball?
They are a little bit concerned that he might be hurt. And now Dusty Baker and Paul Lassard and Brian Price, manager, trainer, pitching coach, respectively, going out to check and make sure that Arthur Rhodes is okay. Out to begin the Diamondbacks' 8th inning, and now goes to work on another left-handed batter in Gerardo Parra.
I think he caught that ball behind him, Marty.
Whatever it takes.
Hey, you got that right, baby. Nice play.
Parra's 0 for 3. Last time up, sent Stubbs back to the warning track and straightaway center. And this one, he bloops into center field for a base hit. So the Diamondbacks collect their 10th hit of the night. And now Rusty Ryle. He's making his first appearance in this series. As we mentioned, he was part of the double switch in the top of the inning. Batting at .288, but has been as high as .301. He's only 4 for his last 20 at the plate. He's a right-hand batter, and there's a throw over, and Parra gets back. And it should be noted, if you're wondering, Gerardo Parra has not attempted to steal a base this season. Stretch by Rhodes, and he comes to the plate, and Ryle takes a strike away. He has played all over the place. 18 games. He's played at first base 18 times, 11 starts. Left field, 24 games, 15 starts. And third base, which is where he came off the bench to play tonight, 7 games and 3 starts. Swing and a miss, and Rhodes threw that ball by him.
You know, I thought I knew this guy, but it was his father. His dad played 7 seasons in the big leagues with the Royals, White Sox, Angels, Phillies, and finishing up with the Pirates. Mark Ryle.
Yep. 0-2 the count. Checking Parra with a look is Rhodes, dealing and just missing with that pitch. Another left-handed batter waiting on deck in Stephen Drew. We're in the bottom of the 8th. A long night of baseball here at Chase Field in Phoenix. A game that saw the Reds trail 7-3 coming to the top of this 8th inning. And they scored 4 times to tie the game up. And now the D-backs have a runner at first base and 1 out with a 1-2 count on Rusty Ryle. And he strikes out swinging.
It's been a little bit of a seesaw ball game. The Reds seemed like they were cruising early, and then the bottom of the 5th inning, the Diamondbacks blew it open with 4 runs of their own.
Here's Stephen Drew now with 2 out. Both managers have used a lot of players in this game. Left-hander against left-hand batter. Rhodes dealing and getting it over on the inside corner of strike. I guess the question that right now begs to be answered is whether or not Joey Votto is available to pinch hit. He was scratched tonight because of tightness in his back. Initially, he didn't really feel like it was that big a deal. He said he thought he did it sleeping last night, but they thought enough of it and were concerned enough to make him a late scratch from the lineup. That one fouled away, and again, you wonder whether or not during the course of this game that back is maybe loosened up a little bit, and he's told Dusty Baker, if you need me late as a hitter, I'll be able to do it. So we'll see.
Well, I would imagine it goes one way or the other. If they were planning on trying to get him ready for the game, then he may be at that point. But I think the issue really came to head after he took batting practice.
0-2 the count. Rhodes does what he normally does, that's throw strikes. Struck out Rusty Ryle and gets quickly in front of Stephen Drew, 0-2. Drew's had 2 singles. He has scored a run. The game is tied at 7 apiece in the 8th inning. The left-hander looks and throws, and this one is hit in the air to left field, should end the inning. Lance Nix waiting, and we head to the ninth. Arthur Rhodes did what Arthur Rhodes does, and that's get people out. We go to the ninth, still tied at 7 on the Cincinnati Bell Reds Radio Network.
This is 700 WLW.
When the Cincinnati
Game, it's America's Trucking Network on 700 WLW.
Well, here we are in the ninth inning and involved in a 7-7 lockup. Jim Edmonds, who homered earlier back in the third, leads this ninth inning off against right-hander Aaron Heilman. Heilman's first pitch of the ninth inning is swung on and hammered down the right field line. That is into the corner. That will get Edmonds to second base. And there is the lead run. If the Reds can get him in, a leadoff ninth inning double by Jim Edmonds.
Boy, the Reds just keep pouring it on. When you keep this much pressure on the defense, it is amazing.
Scott Rowland now, who had a big night last night with 3 hits and 3 RBIs. He settles in with the...
Boy, the Reds just keep pouring it on. When you keep this much pressure on the defense, it is amazing.
Scott Rowland now, who had a big night last night with 3 hits and 3 RBIs. He settles in with the tie-breaking run at second base. Edmonds with a home run and a double tonight. Bullpen quiet for Kirk Gibson's Diamondbacks. Rowland taking, fastball up and away, ball 1.
Chris Heisey has moved out into the on-deck circle.
Guess that answers the question about Joey Votto. 1-0 to count on Rowland. Edmonds checking the shortstop, checking the second baseman as he gets his lead. Rowland takes way inside for a ball. Cincinnati Bell trivia question. Diamondbacks manager Kirk Gibson ranked 6th on the Tigers' all-time stolen base list with 194. In which one of the following categories does he also rank in the top 10 in Tigers history? On-base percentage, doubles, and home runs. And you said...
B, and I'm highly confident.
Swing and a miss. You said B. That would be doubles. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And the answer is C.
Joe Garagiola said B, too.
Both of you are wrong. Gibson ranks 10th on the Tigers' all-time home run list with 195. So much for that system.
Oh, man. I was feeling groovy.
2-2 on a foul ball back.
Big Joe comes in here and he says, I'm thinking B, too.
That's exactly right. We had the privilege of having Joe Garagiola Sr. stop by the booth. He was looking for Tom Brenneman. He will tell you unabashedly one of his favorite people. Attended Tom and Polly's wedding, Joe and his wife, and it's nice to see him here at the ballpark. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball right side. Rowland does his job, and now the foot race to the bag, won by Heilman, but just barely. I mean, he just barely beat Rowland to the bag, and what an at-bat for Scott Rowland.
That's how you do it.
Yep. He gets the ball to the right side, enabling Edmonds to advance to third, and now here's Heisey with a chance to put the Reds in front.
It's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to execute it. A fastball up and in, Rowland inside out's the pitch to move the runner to third base and sacrifice himself.
Heisey, a very good pinch hitter. 7 for 20 this season, and 4 of those 7 pinch hits have left the yard. He would settle simply right here with a fly ball deep enough in the outfield to enable Edmonds to score, and the pitch is taken on the inside corner for a strike. With 1 out in the inning, the Diamondbacks are playing the infield in. 7-7 score, but the go-ahead run standing at third. And Jim Edmonds, who opened the inning with a double to right and advances on the Rowland ground out. Heilman checks and deals. And now they put the suicide squeeze on, and it's going to work. A throw to first, not in time, and the Reds take an 8-7 lead. Perfect bunt by Chris Heisey down the third base line, and with Edmonds coming like gangbusters, Riles swept in, made a quick throw to first. He had no play at the plate, and Heisey beats it on a photo finish, and the Reds lead by 1.
Paul Giannis did it a few days ago, and the rookie Chris Heisey puts it down to perfection here.
What a beautiful play. And now Jay Bruce, he's a double away from hitting for the cycle. And the pitch to him, and it's swung on and ripped to right. That's going to be a single, and the runner will come out around to third. Heisey. It caps off a 4-hit night for Jay Bruce, and the Reds now trying to add insurance here in the ninth inning.
Folks, you wouldn't believe it unless you were sitting here. It is incredible watching the Reds time after time, player after player, bat after bat, square up the baseball. Even on the squeeze, they square it up.
And the bunt was so good that Heisey beat it out. I mean, you don't think about beating out a suicide squeeze bunt. You're simply trying to get the ball down in fair ground and get that runner in from third base. He did that.
Well, the best part about Heisey there is he didn't stand around for the show at home plate.
No.
He was motoring down the line.
Mel Stottlemyre Jr. just now leaving the mound. The Reds are rocking Aaron Heilman in the ninth. 8-7, Cincinnati with 17 hits tonight. If you're wondering, the 4 hits for Jay Bruce ties a career high. It's the third time he's done it in his major league career. And now with runners at first and third, one out, and the go-ahead run in, here is Hernandez, who has been a major factor tonight. 3 hits, including an RBI single in that 4-run 8th inning that brought the Reds back into a tie. Heilman holding, and time call. He held too long, and Hernandez backs off.
Heisey standing at the plate, I'm thinking more along the lines of home run. He's done it so many times.
I know.
He drops down the suicide squeeze. Wow.
Infield back at double play depth. Heilman holding. Still holding, and now he pitches, and they think it's going to come again. They pitch out, and Hernandez showing no signs. I don't believe they're going to do it again. I think Hernandez is going to be hacking.
I don't either. I think it's in their head now. Who are these guys?
Francisco Cordero heating up in the bullpen. 1-0. Hernandez looking to get his 4th hit like Jay Bruce just did, and there's a throw on to first. Trailing by 4 runs. Entering the 8th inning, the Reds not only tie it up in the 8th, but they've taken the lead an inning later. And only one man has been retired. Hernandez very patiently waiting. Heilman acts like he didn't even want to throw the ball.
I don't blame him.
No,
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either, as bad as that ball's hitting in them gaps.
Now they got a right-hander warming up in their bullpen finally. 19 hits the most the Reds have had in a game this season. They've done it twice against Houston and Milwaukee. There's the old third to first move, and Heilman doing everything he can right now to avoid having to throw the ball to the plate. Hernandez has seen exactly 1 pitch, and that was a pitch out. Now the stretch. What will he do this time? Here he's going to pitch to the plate, and he hit him. He hits Hernandez, and that will load the bases. Looked like he got him on the left shoulder or somewhere in that area. This 9th inning has become an abject disaster for Aaron Heilman in the Arizona bullpen, and now they are loaded up. And the batter will be Paul Giannis. Giannis with another multiple hit night. He's had 2 hits in this game, including a base hit and a run scored in the 8th. Heilman from the stretch. Giannis takes high, ball 1.
That's now the 4th hit batter in 2 ball games.
That's right. Daniel Hudson hit 1 last night. So too did Blaine Boyer and DJ Carrasco. Reds runners at every base. Swinging, fly ball, deep left field. Is it a grand slam? It is not. It's caught. An over-the-shoulder grab and a great catch in deep left field in front of the bullpen. turned in by Parra, but a tag up at third base, and the runner comes home Heisey, and that's a 9-7 ball game.
Boy, he placed that thing right in the corner. If it's to the right, it's out, and if it's to the left, it's out.
It really looked like it had enough to get out of here. But hey, a sac fly and now a 2-run lead. And another contribution by Paul Janisch. Here's Lance Nix, who had a sacrifice fly to drive in a run of the 8th. Runners at first and second, 2 out now. Had a swing and a miss on a high fastball.
The way that corner is down by the bullpen in left field, if he hits it over towards center field, it goes out in that corner. If he hits it to the left a little bit, he could have gone out.
Yep.
He hit it in the perfect spot for Parr to run it down.
Check of the runners at first and second. And Nix takes this one for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Tell you what, Gerardo Parra made a great play on that ball.
He sure did. He caught the ball over his shoulder right there in that corner where the bullpen fence ends and the regular fence begins its trek out toward left center field. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fouled off. And Heilman gets ahead in the count. If you're wondering about the bottom of the 9th, Diamondbacks have due to bat Justin Upton, Kelly Johnson, and Chris Young. So Francisco Cordero is going to face some pretty good hitters.
Basically about the 3 best they got.
Yep. Bruce leading at second. Hernandez at first. That one is hit into right center field. That ball is going to be in the gap. It's going to get 2 more runs in. It's going to be an extra base hit. It's a double for Lance Nix, and the Reds lead it 11-7. It will not be a save situation tonight for Cordero, as the Reds have just absolutely hammered Aaron Heilman from pillar to post. And Kurt Gibson on his way to the mound to make still another pitching change.
It is amazing watching the guys in the dugout for the Reds cheering on the guys in the field and vice versa. I mean, you're talking about coming together. This is amazing.
Well, the Reds trail 7-3. They now lead 11-7. Another pitcher comes in from stage left for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and we'll be back in a moment.
This is Red COO Phil Castellini.
Perez, number 58, just activated off the disabled list today with inflammation in his right shoulder. He's held opponents scoreless in 4 of his last 5 outings, but on the year he is 0-6 with a 6.69 earned run average. This will be his 41st appearance, and his numbers are just ugly.
Well, on a night of many amazing aspects about this game, one of them is the fact that Lance Nix didn't enter the game until the bottom of the 5th inning. He's got 3 RBIs. Sac fly and a 2-run double. He's standing out at second base, and Phillips pops it up. Shallow right field, coming on Upton, and the inning is over. But Cincinnati, with the second of back-to-back 4-run innings, and heading to the bottom of the 9th, the Reds now lead the Diamondbacks 11-7.
When the bases...
WellW.com.
Nick Bassett, the right-hander, is on the mound. It is not a save situation, being a 4-run lead. Bassett comes on for the 62nd time. 3-3 on the year. He's got a couple of saves, a 3.90 earned run average. And in his last 27 appearances, covering 27 1/3 innings, he's got a .66 earned run average, only giving up 2 earned runs.
As mentioned, he'll be facing Upton, Johnson, and Young. Longtime Reds fans can take advantage of the next Tri-State Centers for Sight Senior Day. Justin Upton, Nick Bassett, and the first pitch, a call strike. Pitching line on Aaron Heilman, an inning and a third, 5 hits, 4 runs, and he hit a batter, and he's a pitcher of record right now for Arizona. Check swing, and that's a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, those last 2 innings for the Reds have been drop the bomb. Wow.
Bassett winding and dealing. That's a call strike. Rob Butcher informs us that the suicide squeeze bunt by Chris Heisey, the third one of the year for the Reds. Ryan Hannigan did it on the 28th of July in Milwaukee in the 6th inning. Paul Janisch on the 14th of August versus Florida in the 4th. And now Heisey here tonight in Arizona. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'll tell you what, we've said it a million times, when you do it right, there isn't a prettier play in baseball.
Pretty exciting, too.
It is that. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Upton, who had a 2-run single earlier tonight, takes strike 3. One away here in the 9th inning, and the batter will be Kelly Johnson. Ten strikeouts recorded tonight by Cincinnati pitching. Volquez had 5, couple by Bray, 1 each by Smith and Rhodes, and now Massett. Strike is called. Diamondbacks had to feel very good about themselves going to the top of the 8th inning. There's a swing, and he misses. 7-3 lead, but then the offense got going. 8 men batted, 4 scored. 9th inning, 8 men batted, 4 more across the plate. Wipe out a 4-run deficit and lead by 4 runs. And that one is shot down the left field line, but foul.
"16 batters, 8 runs in the 8th and the 9th inning." Golly.
Holding it 0-2 on the former Atlanta Brave. And the pitch. Bounce towards second. Phillips to his right, fielding and throwing, and they're 2 out. We'll pause one more time for station identification on the Cincinnati Bell Reds Radio Network.
LW Cincinnati.
One more out to go for Nick Massett and the Reds, and the batter will be Chris Young, who hit a 2-run home run back in the 5th inning. That broke a 3-3 tie and gave them a 5-3 lead. Fastball strike. Then 2 innings later, a 2-run bomb by Adam LaRoche made it 7-3. And from that point on, it has been, in capital letters, all Cincinnati. Here's the 0-1. That's taken for a ball low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mike Leake throwing in the Reds bullpen, but throwing just for the sake of getting some throwing in. He is now officially a member of that Reds bullpen crew. Here's a 1-1 pitch. In the air, but it'll be out of play, just off to the right of the plate.
This would normally be a work day for Leake anyway. But you don't get your work in until they decide that they don't need you.
Travis Wood will be activated tomorrow and pitch the game tomorrow night here against left-hander Joe Saunders. The Reds will have to make a move to get Wood on the active roster again. Here's a pitch. That's in the dirt, knocked down by Hernandez. So Dusty Baker used everybody tonight with the exception of Ryan Hannigan and Joey Votto. Votto obviously unable to perform, or else they felt it was right just to keep him out of action altogether. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 call, and this one belongs to the Reds. What a comeback for Cincinnati tonight. 4 in the 8th, 4 in the 9th. They rally and go 3 up on the Cardinals in the Central with an 11-7 victory. We'll be back in a moment.
700 WLW.
35th time in 2010, the Reds have come from behind to post a win, trailing 7-3. They close with a great big bang tonight. 4 in the 8th, 4 in the 9th to knock off the Diamondbacks, 11-7. And again, the win tonight, coupled with a Cardinal loss at home this afternoon to Milwaukee, means that the Reds now lead St. Louis by 3 games in the Central Division. 11 runs, 18 hits, 1 error with 8 men left on for Cincinnati. The Diamondbacks had 7 runs, 10 hits, no errors, and they left 6. The win goes to Arthur Rhodes. He's 4-3. Aaron Heilman lost it in relief. His record is 3-4. Again, final game of the series coming up here tomorrow night. The Reds now will look to sweep this thing in the 9:40 start. Travis Wood will be activated and go to the mound with a 3-1 record. He'll be opposed by, as he is, a left-hander, the former Los Angeles Angel of Anaheim, left-hander Joe Saunders, who overall on the year is 7-12, but as a member of the D-backs, he's 1-2. We'll have it all for you, beginning with the Ohio Casualty Cincinnati Reds pregame shows here on the Reds Radio Network tomorrow night, beginning at 9:10. Right now, coming up, the United Dairy Farmers postgame show. And again, the final score, the Reds 11 and the Diamondbacks 7.
This is the Cincinnati Bell Reds.
The first pitch.